Alright, good morning everyone. We got some volatility in the chart, that is for sure. I think FOMC came early and we went ahead and swept that level I was expecting to, sweep, but did it a little bit more violently than I thought. I was not expecting a 56k this morning. That was pretty insane. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts here. Let me turn down this music a little bit. Let me know if the volume and everything is alright. I did get a new mic, so hopefully the mic sounds a lot better for the stream. But it is still kind of a test because, I haven't really checked any of these volume levels or anything. So let me know in the comments, in the live chat, if the volume is all good and if you can hear me. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So if you can see up here on the trading view, we got a nice 1 hour bull div. So if the low is going to be in, it should be in already, right? This should be our low. We should start coming up with haste. FOMC numbers come out in 30 minutes, and then we have that FOMC meeting in about 1 hour. So that's going to be real exciting to watch. We should get a ton of volatility during that time. Let's jump in here to Trading Light here and see what's going on with order flow, because I was posting in the Discord last night. We were having the most amount of volume I think I've ever seen in the order books. We had about, I don't know, what was it, like $7.5 billion in volume within like a 1 hour time frame, as well as just massive walls. We'll go through the chart here and you can see we're on 5-minute candles here. You can see when we came down to these lows right in this area, 700 Bitcoin long, 500, another 700, 1000 Bitcoin long position. Then we just almost took this whole order. This was like an 800 Bitcoin long position. They got pretty much pico bottom. And then now we're coming back down, almost sweeping this level, right? Making some iffy lows here. So I would not be surprised if FOMC does sweep this level one more time. And I think that's what all of these whales are doing. You can see a lot more long positions being put in the market, 1,000 Bitcoin buy walls, looking to scoop up the volatility from FOMC if we do swing down. These walls are going all the way down to 55k. Let's look on the charts here. Let me go to my levels and let's see what levels we have down there, right? So like this wall is at 55, right? Pretty much a psychological level, as well as it is a fair value gap. But there is really no support down here, right? Now, does this scare me that there's no support? No, it doesn't. And that is because of what happened last time we had a Bitcoin ETF. I was talking about this in my last video, right? The reason we had the dump could have been a sell the news, right? They're just playing with the ETF leverages. When the ETF launched, I'm sure a lot of people long the market, so they're just playing with leverage, sweeping all those longs. We can actually see that here on when we came down to these sweep levels back over here. 180 Bitcoin liquidated within a 5-minute candle, as well as on Bybit. They actually had more longs liquidated on Bybit than Binance. You can see down here. Where was it? Maybe they updated it. Maybe that was wrong. I saw this last night. It was like 280 Bitcoin long liquidations on Bybit, but now it says 17. So I don't know if they had an error in the footprint here, but yeah, you can't actually see this. I'm looking at the footprint, though. You can kind of see it pop up there. There's a little bit more to this chart that you can't see, because I do actually have like the Bybit chart in the top right, and the footprint down below, whereas you just see the DXY and trading view, because those are more important, right? I got like 3 monitors set up right now to look at this stuff. But yeah, essentially, I mean, we don't have any levels below us, but if we go to a daily time frame, we also had no levels below us back when the last ETF launched, right? So it's probably going to end up being a sweep on a daily time frame, right? That's what I'm hoping for. We got how many hours do we got left on this daily? 6 hours left on the daily, 6.5. So I do expect us to run up here pretty quickly with haste, get back above these sweep levels on a daily time frame. So hopefully we'll see some of that action during FOMC. But yeah, essentially last time we had an ETF, we left our range, right? We had this big range that we had made, deviated outside to the upside, then deviated outside to the downside, and then full continuation, went parabolic afterwards. So could a similar thing happen? Definitely, right? We have our range. We didn't deviate to the upside, so that's actually bullish, right? Because now we have poor highs at the top of this range, so it's more likely we are going to sweep to the upside. So yeah, I mean, just deviated down. Will this daily close get back above just like it did during the last ETF launch? Probably. You know, I think this was just the, you know, have you ever seen that meme of the Chinese whales shorting Bitcoin? You know, they're all in a room and they click a button and it dumps the price. That's essentially what happened here, right? This was a big liquidation play. You can see on the 5-minute candles, big cascading liquidations there, sending us below support. And once you're below support, people start panicking. But it's not a time to panic until you get closes below this level. And I don't think we're going to be seeing that. I think this is going to be our low coming in right now. Could we sweep one more time during FOMC? Absolutely. And that's what we're here to watch. So let's see what happens here. We are getting a ton of the buyers stepping in at this price, right? Look at all of these limits on the trading light here. Ray says, yo, what is going on, Ray? You can see my pinned comment there. If you have any questions or want me to cover any altcoins, let me know. I'll do a full review of anything you got on stream here. So yeah, let me know for that. Right now, we're just going to be kind of watching the price action here on Bitcoin and getting ready for FOMC. What do I expect to happen? Well, it's a 97% chance that they're going to pause. So they're going to pause, right? There's no question about it. So when those numbers come out, you know, that they did in fact pause in, 20 minutes, I don't expect us to get too much volatility, right? I mean, that's just going to be liquidity plays and that sort of thing. If there's a lot of longs, we'll go down. If there's a lot of shorts, we'll go up. But in an hour when the actual FOMC meeting starts, that's where we really got to be watching, see how the market reacts, as well as see what Jerome Powell says, because if he signals a cut sooner than they're expecting, that's not good. But what I'm actually expecting is he might signal that they're pushing out cuts till November, even December. So hopefully that's what we'll see. I think there's a good chance we will, right? And the markets are probably going to react very bullishly to that news. How these usually go is the first move is the fake move, right? So if we dump right off the bat, that's the fake out, and then we'll rip to the upside, vice versa, that sort of thing. So it should be real exciting to watch. I think this FOMC is going to be volatile with the price level we're at. I would not be surprised if we do like a Bart Simpson up here on like the 5-minute, right? Come down, waddle in here, and just straight back up. And we might see that all on stream. That would be pretty cool. I mean, we could make it back up to these prices within, an hour, because that's all it took to get down here. So yeah, let's see what happens. As you can see, like with these walls, there's no smart money shorting right now. Like there's no seller stepping in thinking that Bitcoin's gonna crash here down to like 52 or lower. No, I mean, everybody knows this is just like FOMC volatility, right? Like just trying to panic the markets. This is probably going to turn into a deviation. So look at all of these buyers stepping in. I'm not scared by this price action at all, as well as a big level I was looking at, right? If we go to total 3 here, you can see on the trading view on the top right, total 3 has not made a new low. Even with Bitcoin, just sweeping all, I guess this isn't going to load very good, but you can see we made this low on April 13th. If we go to Bitcoin, I mean, where was it April 13th? It was all the way back here, right? We are from the bottom of that wick, 5% lower on Bitcoin, whereas altcoins are up 5%. So that's real interesting, right? This wick is something I've been saying cannot break, right? That would deviate every other bull market cycle, but we held it. We are holding it currently, right? Could we sweep it? I mean, maybe. That would not be a good sign though, right? If this thing sweeps, I'm not going to instantly panic sell, but that'll be a sign that like market structure is probably flipped and we are no longer in a bull market. It's time to sell retraces and that sort of thing. So we do want this to hold to confirm we are still in a bullish structure. I do expect it to hold though, because it's outperforming Bitcoin. If we were to check, let me go over here and type in Bitcoin.D, the Bitcoin dominance chart. I bet you this thing is crashing. Look at that. Bitcoin dominance is coming down here. We are back testing this trend, right? So this is a big old macro trend. If we go into like a daily, this goes all the way back to like 2017 when altcoins were first being invented, that sort of thing. We have this big macro downtrend, broke out now we are looking to either backtest or deviate it, hoping this is a deviation, right? Let's get under this trend on Bitcoin dominance and let's have our altcoin season. I think it's very possible we are going to get that very, very soon, because if this was actually bearish, right? If this was not going to be the bottom, if we were going to roll over, bull market over, you would not see altcoins outperforming Bitcoin right now. You would see altcoins just, also, cascading downwards because people are jumping out of the market. But I don't think people are jumping out of the markets. I think this is a big leverage play with that Bitcoin ETF, FOMC. There is a lot of money in the markets to mess around with, and they want to sweep all that liquidity before bringing it to the upside, right? They want to fill their long positions before they rip it to $100,000, get a nice 2x on leverage, and they're very much doing so right here with all these limits in the order books. Let's see here. We got 19 minutes until FOMC. Let's see, what can we look at on the charts? We looked at total 3, we looked at Bitcoin dominance. You can see we have the S&P and DXY in the bottom right. So S&P over here, very flat for the day, right? Nothing crazy on S&P. It already went down. Like when, let's go back to Bitcoin here on TradingView. S&P is still at the same level we were at when Bitcoin was up at like 60K, right? So S&P didn't crash and crumble like Bitcoin did here today or last night or anything like that. It's just been flat throughout this range. And if you do look at like an hourly time frame, let me get all these volume levels off. It's pretty chaotic with all that. Let's go. So is it daily time frame? Yeah. If we go to like a daily time frame, you can see we kind of are making this flag. Actually, it might be better on like 4 hour. You can see we are making a bearish flag to the upside. You could say it was like a rising wedge that we broke out to the downside. But like, I guess, let me see here. Maybe it wouldn't have been, does hourly show it? No, I guess yesterday we were holding it. So now it does, it does look more like a rising wedge that we broke out at the downside on. Okay, so it did change, right? Because yesterday we were holding different levels, so it looked more like a flag. I guess it is still like a flag. So a bear flag on S&P, broke out to the downside. Are we going to backtest it and roll over here? Probably not, right? I think this is another fake out with FOMC. Would I be surprised if it does one of these during FOMC? Not at all, right? The first move is the fake move. So if we are backtesting a bullish or bearish pattern on S&P, they're probably going to nuke it on that fake move, and then we'll go to the upside there on S&P. That's what I'm seeing there. So this could be a big trap for retail and that sort of thing. Look at the daily EMA. We're below this thing. Still pretty much within the band of it, though. So nothing too bad there, right? We're still holding higher highs on a daily on the S&P. But it's definitely something to be watching, right? This is not the most bullish chart in the world right here. So if there's anything to be scared of, it would be like the S&P today, just to make sure we don't just cascade down to make the newer lows, right? I'm pretty sure this low should hold in here, right? I don't think there's any world in which that low can break and we still have a bullish structure. So we want to be watching this. I do expect though, right, to get back up in that flag. If we are actually bearish, we will probably just trade sideways up in this flag until we deviate the highs and then nuke, right? Right now is not the time to be getting bearish, especially for Bitcoin, right? That 74K level is a big liquidity zone. There are tons and tons of stops up there. It is a poor high. It needs to get swept even if we are bearish. So we'll be looking for that. Is it going to be a sell in May and go away type year? Possibly. Let's see what the Fed says. If they signal cut sooner rather than later, we could be, seeing a rally up to 74K. That's where you want to sell, and then we deviate 74K and then enter the bear market. On the other hand of things, the Fed could signal we're not cutting until November, December, and then 100K plus inbound, and that's when we'll see our actual altcoin season. I think it's more likely just because of how the altcoins are reacting to everything. That's been my thesis kind of here in the past couple months. Is like, I don't think the top is in because we didn't see an altcoin season. If it is going to be a rally where we don't see an altcoin season, the only time we've had that before is the 2019 bear market rally. Could this be a bear market rally? Maybe, but we've never had a bear market rally that made all-time highs. It doesn't exactly look like a bear market rally, right? Every time Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, historically, you do see a big altcoin season. Altcoins were flat after Bitcoin broke all-time highs, so it definitely looks like they want to, probably bring price up to 100K, and that's what we'll see the altcoin season, right? Max Euphoria will be at 100K. We'll see if we swing fail that level a couple times, and that'll be the top. Those are kind of just my thoughts here. You can see the DXY got above the golden pocket, but is coming down here on like a 15-minute time frame. This is what could have caused Bitcoin to sweep down there last night. Is the DXY just kept coming up there, almost made a new high, but not quite, right? So we'll see what happens here on the dollar, right? Is it going to react to FOMC? Some more events that are going on in the world as well. We did have Joe Biden decided let's send a carrier group or some sort of marine aquatic group to Palestine, Gaza, and they're going to be trying to control the waters there, and they're going to be getting close to the shores. They were pressed in Congress hey, is it likely that the Gaza is gonna fire at our troops, and if so, would our troops fire back? And they were like, well, it's a real possibility. So I think there's some de-risking in the markets right now because of that, right? Is World War III gonna start? Are they gonna initiate a firefight with Gaza, and then Iran's gonna get involved or something like that, right? Maybe, right? I think a World War III is definitely coming, but I don't think we have to worry about that stuff quite yet, right? But something to be watching. Did see that last night that they were doing some dumb moves with our military. So America, right? They like to get involved in foreign affairs that they should not be involved in. What are you gonna do, right? So yeah, let's see here. We got around 10 minutes. We got someone in the chat. Just got home. Did I lost a lot of information? Not really. I mean, nothing that I haven't been covering in my other videos. If you want to rewind, I mean, go ahead. But we do have FOMC in 10 minutes. I mean, pretty much I just covered we got a bunch of buy walls down here. So that's bullish, right? We don't have any sell walls to the upside. We are making a nice double bottom. We do have a 1 hour bull div here on trading light. The DXY is starting to roll over. Total 3 did not make a new low, right? This wick needs to hold, and it is holding, so that's good. Bitcoin dominance is going down, right? We are just now deviating inside this wedge, or not wedge, this trend right here. So this could be the start of altcoin season, right? Bitcoin went ahead, back tested and then launched that out of this trend that we've been holding since 2017. We are now deviating back inside of it, and every time you do start going down on Bitcoin dominance, that's your altcoin season, right? This is January 21st, or well, January 3rd of 2021. That is when the altcoin season started last time. So is this going to start falling and we have an altcoin season? That's my bet. My bet is that altcoin season finally starts now. I know everyone's been calling for an altcoin season for quite some time. And Bitcoin has just been trading sideways without the altcoins running, which on one hand tells you the bull market's probably not top because you don't have altcoin euphoria. And on the second hand, I mean, when altcoin season does arrive, it should be pretty violent, right? It's like reaccumulation for altcoins right now. So yeah, I mean, it should be real exciting. We should see them come up with haste here, right? When the parabola starts on altcoins, it goes fast. It'll be like a 2 to 3 week time frame where you will have everything in the market do a 10x, and then they'll just distribute and fall. So yeah, let's see if that happens now. Let's see if they just slowly trade up until later in the summer, and then they go parabolic into election season, right? There's a couple scenarios that can happen here, but from here on out, I do expect altcoins to start outperforming Bitcoin. So that's what we want to be watching for. Make sure that that the bull is still valid there. So Yeah, let's see here. You can look at GBTC. Oh, we have, yep, we got a CME gap. That's always good to see, right? Didn't think about that, but yeah, this thing happened in the middle of the night. Markets were closed, so we now have a nice CME gap here on Bitcoin. So yeah, this should be fun. I like this is a perfect buying opportunity. I wish I had some cash in the sidelines. I'm straight up all in right now, so I can't really add anything to my positions, so I'm just kind of holding here. But yeah, this looks beautiful, right? Nice double bottom below a CME gap. This, in my opinion, just goes straight up to it, right? This is gonna fill fast. Hopefully we'll see it on stream today. Are we gonna sweep the lows one more time because it's FOMC? Probably, right? That's what all these whales are looking for. They're like, hey, if Bitcoin go down, I'm gonna try to fill my orders down at like 55K, and that sort of thing. If we do get that like FOMC scare, right? We do have liquidity behind these zones, right? I don't know why this is red. Let me get this to like what I normally have it as. There we go. So these are sweep levels. If the FOMC is to come out swinging with some volatility and we do sweep these levels, I mean, that's what these orders are looking for, right? This guy's right under the sweep level. Not a bad place to be putting in a wall. And then, we have, if you take ADR, average daily range, right? So if you take this as your point of control, what's the average daily range that we could swing to? If we pull this up, it's only 175. That's actually not a lot at all. So that actually only brings you down to like right here-ish. So yeah, I don't know. We shouldn't really get lower than the average daily range below the sweep, but it is FOMC, so like that's what these walls are looking for. Just some crazy FOMC stuff. So yeah, let's see what happens here. We got about 8 minutes till the numbers come out from the Federal Reserve. What I'm gonna go ahead and do, let me actually see real quick. I got like my YouTube pulled up over here. Oh, not quite yet. How many people are watching this stream? 7 people in here watching. That's awesome, guys. Let me know in the comments you got any questions, that sort of thing, before FOMC numbers come out, which is going to be in 8 minutes. But yeah, let's go ahead. I wanted to look at not Jerome Powell, not yet, but I did want to look at Coinalyze. Right, this is our open interest in CVD for every exchange, right? Well, every big exchange. That's a lot of information, right? But let's go ahead. Let's see what the positions are doing here after we got the sweep. So I guess we can zoom in here a little bit, right? We're just looking from when we got down to like this 57K level. Bitcoin, the trend is higher lows, double bottom formation, right? Are we going to see similar stuff in open interest? Absolutely. Now, what is Binance doing though? Look at this. Higher highs on price, or higher lows on price, lower lows on CVD for Binance. With those higher lows on CVD, Binance is shorting. Binance is shorting the bottom. Binance is always coming in, giving us that lovely liquidity to squeeze to the upside. This is where you get that like Bart Simpson I was talking about, where we just rip to the upside through that CME gap. Binance is trapping themselves. Actually, I don't know. Let me see. Let me hold up. Sorry about that. There we go. So now you can actually see the full Coinalyze thing. So you can see here, Bitcoin making pretty much flat lows on price, I guess you could say. Higher lows on CVD though, or open interest on Binance. So Binance is opening positions and they're opening short positions, right? Versus Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is going against their shorts. So Binance is looking to get squeezed here, short squeeze imminent, right? CVD on or open interest on Bybit going down, whereas CVD is also going down, but more flat, right? I think Bybit's they're just getting squeezed, right? They're trying to keep them out of long positions. They're normally the more of the smarter money, so I think more of Bybit is trying to long right now, but price is, it just keeps sweeping them because they're going to put tight stops in, that sort of thing, because, you always want to put tight stops in when trading. So they're just getting stopped out. They're also closing their positions probably because we have FOMC up and coming. So they're going to wait for the volatility to end before they want to re-enter positions. Then down here in purple, we got this is like an aggregate of all the other exchanges like OKX, Kraken, that sort of thing. We do have them opening positions, and they are going short just like Binance. So the majority of retail right now is trying to short the market. What is CoinM margin contracts doing? Those are all the contracts here on the bottom. Smart money is leveraging in CoinM most of the time. They're closing out positions in this range again, probably just because of FOMC. They don't want to be in their positions while that volatility happens. And then, dude, what is this music? Hold on. let me switch the music real quick. Let's go with that. You can see they're pretty much closing positions, right? Everything's pretty flat, but they did open a ton of longs out over here when price was at like 56,893 throughout this range. They were opening a bunch of long positions, which I mean that was a good point to do it. But now that price is going down, you know, they're just getting out at break even or in profit, right? Because smart money never takes losses, right? They're always just gonna pull out of their position whenever it gets to break even. So that's what you're seeing on CoinM on Binance. Then we got Bybit. They're just been closing throughout the entire range. They really haven't opened anything. The CVD is going up though, so I mean, yeah, they tried to open some positions back over in here when we first got the sweep down, but they've just been kind of closing positions there. So not too much to say on CoinM. And then we got all the other exchanges. I don't know, similar to Bybit there, right? They're just pretty flat. I guess they're opening more longs than Bybit. And what you see here is the open interest go flying up with the CVD going down. Some other exchange initiated this sweep, right? You can see like on here. I wonder if we go to my settings here. These are all the exchanges that it's on. So let's check. It wasn't BitMEX. Deribit started shorting at the highs, right? Who knows? I don't know. Did Deribit start this the cascading liquidations? Maybe. But yeah, they were opening shorts throughout this range, and then they went really heavy on longs as well, right there at the lows. So yeah, it looks like some random exchange is kind of market making this right now, as well as you have OTC markets, which are probably going pretty heavy right now, with the buy positions, that sort of thing. They're accumulating, I would bet. But yeah, we got 3 minutes. We're going to be checking over here on Forex Factory what the numbers are for the federal funds rate. You can see here we got a countdown, 2 minutes left. So we'll see what happens there. Let me go ahead and check the charts real quickly. We are seeing some price action, right? We're swinging up. You can see. Let me go ahead and switch it back to this view real quick. You can see that Binance is starting to short right throughout this range, and then looks like Bybit's continuing to just close position. So I mean, I don't know. There's not too much to tell on the order flow here. I don't think anyone is trying to really trade the FOMC meeting, right? If you are thinking about leverage trading this, don't. You never put in position or trades, right? You don't enter positions before FOMC because it will swing price in both directions. So if you are thinking about doing a leverage trade, right, you want to get this like Bart Simpson, if we have it, right, you want to get the move up back into the range. Then you can either just wait for FOMC to end, or you should already be in a position from the lows, if you were to have pulled. I guess it wouldn't be at the lows from this point, right? Like there is. Why is my fib like this? I had to re-download Trading Light because I don't know, for some reason it just got like wiped from my PC. So now my fibs are all messed up. So now you get to see how I do my fib levels. So if you wanna do this for yourself on TradingView or whatever, this is how I kind of make it. So like 0.5 be blue, 382, Darker blue 236 is like purple. Zero line, don't really care about that. That's gonna be pretty much gray. The 1, keep it white. 786 is gonna be red. Let's do 0% opacity there. We're going to go ahead and make this just 1 pixel. We're going to add a new level. This is going to be your 886, right? The 886 is when pretty much all of your liquidity has been swept from the market. Make that like a dark red there, as well as we're going to add a 0.58. So this is making the actual golden pocket here. So 0.58, your 0.6, as well as 0.667. Right, these are all mathematical fib levels. We'll make this one, I don't know, like yellow, that sort of thing. So this is how I do my fibs. So if you were going to enter position, you could have, like, this would be technically valid. Entering golden pocket to 786, that sort of thing. So you could have entered, good gosh, why is that? Like that. You could have entered here and that would be valid, right? Your stop is down here, right? But just cautioning you, right? Like FOMC could sweep you. So if you did enter in this range, not a bad idea to get your stop at entry right now. So yeah, that's something to note. But hold up, we are a minute late to this. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I know it's going to be paused. Yep, who knew? It was paused. 97% chance of it being paused, and it was. So nothing to speak of there. But we did get those numbers out, so volatility might start. Right? I think the markets are going to somewhat react from this because people are going to be trading the news, and Bitcoin is going to sweep that liquidity of the initial traders on FOMC day. But yeah, 5.5% basis points, or 0 basis point hike, 0 basis point cut. They paused, so nothing's a surprise there. Now we're just waiting for Jerome Powell to go live. This is going to be at 11 a.m. my time, but that's going to be in 30 minutes here, so we'll see what happens there. Oh, actually, no. I guess, okay, wait, hold up. They're not supposed to go live for 30 minutes. 11 a.m. is right now. So this might go live 30 minutes before the Fed actually cuts. You see the chat is going crazy here. I don't actually know if you can see that because I have the view a little bit different. But yeah, there's a lot of fear in the markets right now with this Fed cut. So I'll probably pause that whenever that starts streaming. But yeah, initial bounce, right? This is, you know, the Fed volatility right here, the FOMC volatility, interest rates were paused, right? Nothing is a surprise here, so you know, yeah, that's fine. No, okay, why is my this is grayscale? I was like, what are those boxes? Yeah, we got going launching up off of this 1 hour bull div. You know, I did say the first move is the fake move. But structurally speaking, I mean, this is not going to roll over and be bearish. So could it be something like this, right? We trap longs. Actually, we'd probably sweep that. So trap longs, sweep, then go. Right? Sweep this high, sweep this low, and then off to the races. Maybe. We will be wanting to see if that does play out here, but overall, yeah, I mean, I'm liking like what I'm seeing here. The buyers are going crazy. Let's see who is buying, where they are buying. So this is nice to see. You can see point of control is down here at the range point of control. A lot of buyers stepping in there on Binance. So these are smart buyers marketing in right now. You can see there are just no sellers in the market. So very easy to push up price. You can't see this, but I'm looking at the same candle, but just on Bybit here. We are seeing a very similar thing, just tons of imbalances within this range. Price is starting to fly up there, and it does look like it's being pushed up by smart buyers. We're not seeing, you see how like there's more longs on the bottom side of this candle than the top side, right? Everyone entered in at the lows. There's not a lot of FOMO going on, that sort of thing. What we want to be watching out for is if we get a big imbalance on the top side and then price does not continue upwards, right? That would be a trap trader situation. But yeah, let's see what happens here. We're going up, so theoretically, right, this is the sweep level. Although it is a terrible sweep level. Like if you're shorting here, you are not smart. I'll just say that. This is it's just not a place to short, but just theoretically, right, if we are going to get liquidity, if they're going to play around with liquidity here, that would be your liquidity zone for stopping out shorts and then rotating it back down. So let's see what happens here. We are definitely getting the FOMC volatility, so that's awesome to see here. Look at the divs here. Our RSI is flying to the upside. That's looking great. It's very possible that we swing all the way up here before. I hate how TradingView does this. Whenever you're trying to draw lines on higher time frames, it goes to full squiggles. So I gotta go to like a 15-minute to do this. But essentially, we could see us run all the way up here before FOMC, and then do like something real quick like that. Some real quick wick down to grab everything before heading up. That's also something to be looking out for, right? So I could see that happening. That's kind of what I hope for. That'd be pretty cool. That means we get the full run up here on stream. So let's see if we can get that happening here. Bitcoin tried to go down. You can see this is what I'm talking about, where you get the point of control on the top side of the wick, and it did reverse off that initially, but buyers just stepped in immediately and are pushing it up to new prices here. We do have that VWAP coming across, the volume weighted average profile. A lot of institutional traders are going to be just taking some off the table when we get up there, right? That's a level. If you're in a massive long position from the lows, you'll take a tiny bit off the table here, especially because we have FOMC and you never know what's going to happen there. Let me go ahead. I have this line that comes across. Can you take that off on Trading Light? Yes, you can. Okay. Make that. There we go. So yeah, going to the upside. Let's see this. Let's see if we can make it all the way up here before FOMC starts. So yeah, let's see what happens. We did not get the fake move as the first move. It doesn't look like, right? This is not your normal FOMC where you grab liquidity first. I was really expecting when the numbers came out we would do something like that. So this is interesting. Hopefully it's not that, but I doubt it, right? There's like I said, the liquidity is up at your highs. I can't zoom out because this can take forever to load, but if we go here to like a daily liquidity that we're gonna hunt next, it's right there and right there. So yeah, it should be quick. That's what our charts are going to be looking like in like a week from now, hopefully. But let's see what happens here. And actually, it probably wouldn't even look like that. It would probably look more of like, I don't know. I'm just messing around here, just trying to predict the markets. Yeah, I don't know. That actually doesn't look like it's gonna happen. It's just the way I drew it. Not that we're not gonna go up there, but yeah, these are our sweep levels. So that's where we're going next. Let's see if we can close above. We got 5 hours left. These are the levels we want to close above, these dotted lines here. A close above either of these levels is extremely bullish. So let's see if we can get that. I don't know if we'll be staying around for the full 5 hours here, but who knows, maybe in the next couple hours we will see it get above these levels. We got 20 minutes until that FOMC meeting. So let's see what Bitcoin does before then. Where did my trend line go? Put that back in there. Lower lows on price, higher highs, or higher lows on RSI. We're lifting off out of this 1 hour bull div. This looks amazing. This is like, this structure right here is majestic. vector right here. So once we get into the vector zone, it should just rip to the upside as long as we don't sweep this. So we'll be watching to make sure we don't sweep this level. You know, that would be a very Bitcoin thing to do, right? Sweep the level, come down, make a third draw of the bull div. So, you know, just something to be watching for. But like the structure looks bullish enough to where we'll probably just rip to the top of this by the time FOMC even starts. Get up here, and then we have a quick sweep down to grab some positions with all the FOMO that will be happening once we clear above 59K. So yeah, let me check the chat real quick. I gotta be looking at this chat more. Nothing's really going on though. Ivo says hi all. Hello. The Bitcoin price action this afternoon. Well, I guess it's not afternoon yet for me, but it is in New York. So yeah, the afternoon price action is looking really bullish. We are getting that Fed volatility as expected. Let's see what happens here. What can I look at? Let's see here. I want to wait for Bitcoin to sweep to really consider this a pullback, right? We're not going to pull back here until it sweeps that probably. Although that is bullish, right? If we come down here now, that's guaranteed we're going. There's no chance. See if we can look at the order flow here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Smart money, right? This guy leveraging the point of control to his advantage, pumping up price. That's all good. Dumb money, bumboing at the top, making a point of control on the top side of things. This is what I'm talking about, right? You can see I was like, oh, these are good positions pushing up price, right? You got the brighter green on the bottom means the people longing are at the bottom side of the candle, and then you have a value gap, right, where there's not as much leverage, right? That's kind of like grayed out, and then you have buyers stepping in on the top side now, and they're, you know, you also have the smart money shorts now opening at the top side. So yeah, you got some trap traders up here on Binance. It's a ton of trap traders, 500 Bitcoin just in this little section. I mean, total, this is well over 1,000 Bitcoin longing at the top of this wick. So yeah, you got some trap traders up there. Makes sense to rotate back down to this point of control, and then we'll see once we get back to these buyers if they're going to step in again or if they're going to pull out of their position, and we are going to see that sweep down lower. So we'll see what happens here. Again, we got 18 minutes left till FOMC. We got the volatility coming in. What else can we look at here? I guess we can look at open interest, see who is opening these positions. So over here on Bybit, this is your open interest on Bybit as well as your CBD. So nothing really to take note of here. Let's look at the range though. We did look at this on Coinalyze, but yeah, I mean they opened a bunch of longs within this candle as well, but you know, nothing too much to speak of. They're closing up positions mostly in this range. Binance, we looked at this on Coinalyze as well. They have been shorting throughout this range, and very here locally, you know, here they have been closing out of shorts. So this has liquidated a lot of shorts. If we do look at the liquidations down here, right, and the bar statistics, 21, 11, 18, right? So about 50 Bitcoin worth of short liquidations within this run up here. So like I said, it's a big liquidity play right now. Sweep the shorts, then sweep the longs, then sweep the shorts again, something like that. But we are getting some support. Buyers are stepping in now. Once again, you know, we have an imbalance there at the bottom. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. The structure is bullish, right? I'm not worried about price at all. I'm just here to watch the volatility because I think it will be pretty exciting. We should sweep up very quickly. Okay. We got someone in the comments here. Okay, I gotta pull this chat over to the right side of the screen. I'm looking. I got a second monitor with the chat over here. It's actually under the S&P and dollars, so you see, I get the chat there. Anyway, Ivo blow off top in September. very possible. That is when we're predicted to get the Fed rate cut. So is it going to be September where you have a more of like sell the news event on FOMC? Very possible, right? The thesis of them front running it, right? So we have a top in August, is not really as valid as saying that, while we'll have de-risking during that time, they're going to want to save the top for September, because they want the top to be when there's retail euphoria. What does retail think is bullish? They think the Fed cut is bullish. Smart money knows the Fed cut means there's something wrong in the economy and they're cutting to try to stimulate the economy. So when they cut, you're probably going to see mass retail euphoria, especially in the altcoins, right? So while Bitcoin will probably distribute throughout the summer, altcoins could very easily have their blow off top during September. So yes, those are my thoughts on September being the blow off top. Definitely possible there. Or 2025 November. Again, it's just about that Fed cut. So if they cut in September, unfortunately, I don't think we'll make it to November. But again, it's possible. If you look at 2007, the Fed cut, and then the top was 1 month after the Fed cut, and then you have the Great Financial Crisis after that. So could it be a month after? Right, you have like a September or not September, October blow off top potentially. But then there's also the rate hike meeting in November. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Are they going to move rate hikes up to September, or are they going to keep it November, or are they going to keep it September? So if they do signal that they're moving rate cuts over to November, then yes, I do think a blow off top in November during that election season is very likely. That makes a lot of sense to me. So yes, both of those scenarios could definitely happen, and we will find out what is more likely based on the meeting today. So that's why this meeting is so important. The markets are pretty undecided if September is actually going to be that cut. It's very 50-50 if you look at the CME Group predictions. Next question, you just trade or you hold spot positions for a longer period of time? I have made majority of my money just holding spot positions, right? If you want to make big money in crypto, the way to do it is buying in the bear market, selling at the top. Trading is, it's just about having an edge over a long amount of time. It's a lot of learning. I'm just very interested in the math of it, right? The probabilities. So, while I do kind of trade, starting to kind of trade full time here, and, definitely, you can make some good money off trading. I'm all in spot right now. That's why I've even been like taking my longs on testnet here locally, because there's no need for me to take long positions on Bitcoin with real money right now, right? I've already done that for a whole year, right? I've been trading every day for a year. I know how to deal with the emotional side of things, right? So that's the one reason you don't really want to testnet trade when you're starting out. You just want to do very small amounts of money when you're starting out trading, so you'll have the emotional mindset. Like you'll develop the emotional mindset for trading, because it's 50% psychology, 50% technical analysis, and risk management, that sort of thing. So yeah, but essentially, yes, I hold a lot of spot positions. I'm like all in the market right now. I was buying throughout the summer. I was actually buying like late spring throughout the summer, and then I kind of stopped buying in October. I've just been holding, have not sold anything. While I probably should have sold when we saw the meme coin season here in March, I didn't, and that's totally fine, because I'm still up on my positions from the lows, and I'm comfortable holding knowing that altcoin season has not even started yet. So yes, that is what I'm doing with my my positions personally. Thanks for the answers. That is benefit. Not have many subs. Yes. Yeah, just started this channel 2 months ago. I'm actually really excited with how much support I'm getting, right? I know a lot of the YouTubers talk about like how they start a channel and they don't get any views on their videos for quite some time. Fortunately, you guys have supported me, right? You guys are viewing my videos. My first video got like 500 views after about a week. So it seems like you guys like my technical analysis, right? I do think I am providing good information here. If you look at most YouTubers that do technical analysis, they are just full on retail. They basically just trade or not necessarily trade, but they'll do their TA based on like retail patterns, that sort of thing, you know, and that's just not how the market operates. It operates on liquidity. But yeah, I mean, what have we got here? Yeah, man, you deserve all the merits, and it's good info. Thank you very much. Yes, if you have any questions about trading or anything like that, if you are like you want to get into day trading, I can definitely help you out with that. Essentially, like, you don't want to do it, but if you are dead set, you want to be a day trader, there is a way to be profitable, but only 5% actually do. It's a very hard skill to learn, deceivingly hard, because you would think like, oh, it's got to be like the easiest way to make money in the world, right? And it's like, no, actually getting a job is much easier. It's a lot less stressful to just get a job too, but once you do nail it, right, once you do learn how to trade, it's very rewarding, while still being very stressful, but that sort of thing. Man, I have a couple questions. If you would go day trading, I will have to quit job. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So like, oh, if I would go day trading, I would have to quit my job. I mean, you could, but you don't want to do it until you have like months of profitability, or you've made a lot of money off your spot position. So like, I quit my job because I've made a ton of money off just buying Bitcoin in the bear market and selling in the bull market. I have not made enough money off trading to where I would like just quit my job and start day trading full time. So if you do want to get into day trading, keep your job until you have like straight up like 6 months consistent profitability that supports the same, or you know, enough income to where you could just live off of trading. You want to know for a fact you can do it. You never want to just be like, oh, I made a lot of money in this one trade, now I can quit my job, look at how easy it is to make money. No, it's not how it works. When did you buy your first Bitcoin? So technically I think it was like 2014, but I was not an investor back then. You know, I'm not super old. I'm 22, so you know, back when Bitcoin was first starting, I was just a teenager. So yeah, I bought like $100, not even. It was like $50 worth of Bitcoin back in like 2014. Nothing to do with the markets. I was just like interested. I watched like deep web videos where like people would go on the deep web and like that sort of thing. I was like, oh, dude, this is like the cyber currency of that, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy some of that. That stuff looks cool. It was like P2P back then, so I bought some like on the P2P market. I never sold it, so it's still on a hard drive somewhere. But when I really started getting into crypto would have been 2017. So the answer to your question is more, you know, it's 2017 is when I got into crypto, during that bull run. I remember, you know, thinking about buying, back when it was like $300. I was really getting into like more of the investing side of things. I was like, man, maybe I should buy some Bitcoin here at $300. And then when it ran to 20,000, I was like, screw it, I gotta buy this stuff. So I bought it at like, I don't know, $10,000 before the 2017 bull run. Held on to it, round trip myself on that, and you know, like I've really gotten my money made, somewhat in 2020, but more of like this cycle, right? This is the cycle where I've really honed down investing, trading, that sort of thing. So yeah, I've been, you know, I've been putting in positions in the market every single day since the 2020 bull run. So yeah, for the past year really is when I've gotten into it, really like studying charts, and that sort of thing. I did lose a lot of money leverage trading last year, so I'm trying to like get my revenge on the markets by, you know, actually taking the time to learn trading and making the money back that way, which I have made well over what I lost leverage trading in the markets. So it's, you know, it feels good to be able to do that, right? The market will do that to you if you're not careful. You will lose all your money trading if you don't know what you're doing. So best time to buy Bitcoin is bear market, then sell in bull. Yes, I agree with you. That is the best. Definitely buy when there's blood in the streets, like there is today. While yeah, we're probably late to be getting in Bitcoin, if you've missed out on the markets, right, you weren't here last year, this, not financial advice, but this could be an amazing opportunity to accumulate some altcoins, because I mean, a lot of my altcoins are like back at where I bought them in the bear market. Like some of them are, while most are up, 10 or 2 to 5x what they were in the bear market. I mean, that's still pretty good when you take into account that these things can do 100x's in peak retail euphoria if we do get something like 2020 over again. At least you invested a couple of money, so we now have to pay 20k at least. I bought in crypto in 2020. Imagine seeing buying, investing a couple of grand, and then a couple of months all down. Yeah. I also did not really sell in 2020. I sold some when we did have the peak like meme coin euphoria in 2021. I kind of knew that was potentially a top, but I was in the mindset of like, hey, if we go back to TradingView here, we had never seen something like this on Bitcoin before. First of all, we've only had blow off tops on Bitcoin. So when we had this sideways action, I was like, no, that can't be the top. There's no blow off top, right? It's going to be like 2017. We're going to have a blow off top. So I'm holding until we get a blow off top. So held through this. I bought a ton in this area. This is when I went like all in crypto. Essentially, right? This is when I had like the most amount of money in crypto back in 2020, right? So obviously I have way more now, but yeah, when we made this the secondary top, I was like, there's no way that's a top. We're waiting for the blow off top. So I also held most of my bag throughout this year, pretty much only selling the meme coins that I was trading, right? I was all in freaking doing the meme coin trading on Binance. If you remember, this was the Binance meme coins era in 2020. Now it's the Solana shitter era. But yeah, I don't know. You got to go through a cycle and lose your money to learn, right? You learn from your cycles, and then every cycle after you make more money. So yeah, I started buying really, like I was accumulating throughout this entire range here. So I've been doing just finding those altcoin bags. That's the time to buy, right? Buy at the bear market, sell at the top. Altcoins though, altcoins are still close to the bear market, right? 50% up. Might not be the best, the worst time to buy altcoins, especially some of them where you're like your risk on ones or that sort of thing, because they have just absolutely collapsed in the past like month or so. But yeah, Total 3 still holding the low, so altcoin season probably ahead of us. But yeah, Bitcoin looks bad, and that's when you know it's gonna rally, because there's a lot of panic sellers right now, and Bitcoin does not do what panic sellers think it's gonna do. This is gonna deviate back above. I'm actually really excited. I'm honestly like, I'm almost kind of glad we got this sweep, because like, I don't know, it just looks so similar to since we're on like a 1 hour time frame here. Oh yeah, I was like drawing this red box for like a video, just talking about the ETF, but like, that's not it. I was like, hold up, that's not the ETF. You can see last time we got the ETF. Ignore this, right? Because like, this whole range after the ETF launched last time was not, it's not going to happen this time, I don't think. I think we're just like fractaling this, and you can see it's a very similar structure, right? Like double bottom, run up. So could we see something like this with FOMC? Definitely, right? Double bottom, come up, sweep down, then go up and back into the range. That's kind of what I'm expecting. So let's see what happens here. We got 1 minute left till FOMC. We will go ahead and pull that up live for you guys. Let me go ahead and get that view going. FOMC. Let's get back to this. Kind of rambling on right now. We need to focus on FOMC. But yeah, you saw how that worked last time we got the ETF. Very similar thing could happen. Let's see. Gonna go ahead. Pause this. This tab's not muted, is it? No, there's just no sound right now. I guess we'll keep the music on until this actually starts. Any more questions? Do you think the total 3 is bottom? It has to be bottomed. So that's a level I've been watching. If total 3 is not bottomed right now, we got a problem. So yes, total 3 I think is bottomed. If you look at previous cycles, so let's go back on total 3, right? You see those 2 green lines are actually where I think we could be in the market. Look at both of these times. Like we make our wick down, we don't make a lower low. This is not this does not count. This is not where we are right now. This would be our wick right now. So as you can see, we do not make a lower low. So yeah, it cannot make a lower low in my opinion, or else we're topped. Anyway, Jerome Powell is speaking here. Why is it so quiet? Can you guys hear this?
Inflation has eased substantially over the past year,
Let me turn this
while
up.
the labor market has remained strong. And that's very good news. But inflation is still too high. Further progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain. We are fully committed to returning inflation to our 2% goal.
Inflation is still high. That's what you want to hear.
Price
They
stability
might
is
push out
essential
the
to
cut.
achieve a sustainably strong labor market that benefits all. Today, the FOMC decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities
That's
holdings,
1080p.
though at a
That does
slower
not look like
pace.
1080p.
A restrictive stance of monetary policy has been putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation, and the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals have moved toward better balance over the past year. However, in recent months, inflation has shown a lack of further progress toward our 2% objective, and we remain highly attentive to inflation risks. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at
I
a
just
solid
realized
pace.
this is the wrong view. You should go over
Although
here.
GDP growth moderated
There
from
you go.
3.4%
Sorry about
in
that.
the fourth quarter of last year to 1.6% in the first quarter, private domestic final purchases, which excludes inventory investment, government spending, and net exports, and usually sends a clearer signal on underlying demand, was 3.1% in the first quarter, as strong as the second half of 2023. Consumer spending has been robust over the past several quarters, even as high interest rates have weighed on housing and equipment investment. Improving supply conditions have supported resilient demand and the strong performance of the U.S. economy over the past year. The labor market remains relatively tight, but supply and demand conditions have come into better balance. Payroll job gains averaged 276,000 jobs per month in the first quarter, while the unemployment rate remains low at 3.8%. Strong job creation over the past year has been accompanied by an increase in the supply of workers, reflecting increases in participation among individuals aged 25 to 54 years and a continued strong pace of immigration. Nominal wage growth has eased over the past year and the jobs to workers gap has narrowed, but labor demand still exceeds the supply of available workers. Inflation has eased notably over the past year, but remains above our longer run goal of 2%. Total PCE prices rose 2.7% over the 12 months ending in March, Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.8%. The inflation data
All right, we're
received so
through
far
the
this year
level.
have been
Is it
higher
going to
than
turn into a
expected.
sweep? Let's watch that
Although
VWAP.
some measures of
What's the
short-term
reaction on the
inflation
VWAP?
expectations have increased in recent months, longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. The committee decided at today's meeting to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25% to 5.5%, and to continue the process of significantly reducing our securities
Harsh
holdings,
rejection off that
though at a
VWAP. You can
slower
see what I'm
pace.
talking about. Volume weighted average profile.
Over the past year, as
This
labor market tightness
pink
has
line that
eased
comes down here.
and inflation has declined, the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals have moved
Nothing too
toward
bad
better
on
balance.
the footprint there, so
The
we'll see
economic
what
outlook
happens.
is uncertain, however, and we remain highly attentive to inflation risks. We've stated that we do not expect that it will be appropriate to reduce the target range for the federal funds rate until we have gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%. So far this year, the data have not given us that greater confidence. In particular, and as I noted earlier, readings on inflation have come in above expectations.
Above expectations on
It is
inflation,
likely
that's
that
good.
gaining such
That means they're
greater
going to want to hold
confidence
off
will
on that
take
cut.
longer than previously expected. We are prepared to maintain the current target range for the federal funds rate for as long as appropriate. We're also prepared to respond to an unexpected weakening in the labor market. We know that reducing policy
I think they're
restraint
going to push
too
it to
soon or
November.
too much could result in a reversal of the progress we've seen on inflation. At the same time, reducing policy restraint too late or too little could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. In considering any adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the committee will carefully assess incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. Policy is well positioned to deal with the risks and uncertainties that we face in
You can see
pursuing
the dollar
both
dumping
sides
right
of our
now.
dual mandate. We will continue to make decisions meeting by meeting. Turning to our balance sheet, the committee decided at today's meeting to slow the pace of decline in our securities holdings, consistent with the plans we released previously. Specifically, the cap on Treasury redemptions will be lowered from the current $60 billion per month to $25 billion per month as of June 1. Consistent with the committee's intention to hold primarily Treasury securities in the longer run, we're leaving the cap on agency securities unchanged per month, and we will reinvest any proceeds in excess of this cap in Treasury securities. With principal payments on agency securities currently running at about $15 billion per month, total portfolio runoff will amount to roughly $40 billion per month. The decision to slow the pace of runoff does not mean that our balance sheet will ultimately shrink by less than it would otherwise, but rather allows us to approach its ultimate level more gradually. In particular, slowing the pace of runoff will help ensure a smooth transition, reducing the possibility that money markets experience stress and thereby facilitating the ongoing decline in our securities holdings that are consistent with reaching the appropriate level of ample reserves. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run.
164 shorts
To conclude,
liquidated.
we understand that our
Next
actions
15 minutes,
affect communities,
144
families, and
longs
businesses
liquidated.
across
That's
the
some
country.
classic FOMC liquidations
Everything
right
we
there.
do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
All right, so far so good. I kind of like what he said there. Let's see what CME Group takes from that, and whenever they come out with their predictions, that'll really tell us: is it cut in September or is it November now? So we'll see.
To get inflation back to 2%.
So I do think the evidence shows, pretty clearly that policy is restrictive and is weighing on demand. And there are a few places I would point to for that. You can start with the labor market. Um, so demand is still strong, the demand side of the labor market in particular, but it's cooled from its extremely high level of a couple of years ago. And you see that in job openings. You saw it, more evidence of that today in the JOLTS report, as you'll know. It's still higher than pre-pandemic, but it has been coming down both in the Indeed
Got
report
above the
and the JOLTS
VWAP.
report.
Let's see if we can
That's
hold.
that's demand cooling. The same is true of quits and hiring rates, which have essentially normalized. I also we look at surveys of workers and, pardon me, surveys of workers and businesses and ask workers, are jobs plentiful? And ask businesses, are workers plentiful? Is it easy to find workers? And you've seen that the answers to those have come back down to pre-pandemic levels. You also see in interest-sensitive spending like housing and investment, you also see that higher interest rates are weighing on those activities. So I do think it's clear that that policy is restrictive.
Sufficiently restricted, I guess.
So I would say that we believe it is restrictive, and we believe over time it will be sufficiently restrictive. That will be a question that that the data will have to answer.
So as a follow-up, if inflation
Pardon me.
continues running roughly sideways as it has been, the job market stays reasonably strong, unemployment low, and expectations are anchored and maintained, would you disrupt that for
Expectations are not anchored.
or anchored
Or
and
anchored.
stable, roughly? Would you disrupt that for the last half point on PCE?
You know, I don't want to get into complicated hypotheticals, but I would say that, you know, we're committed to retaining our current restrictive stance of policy
Look
for
at
as
the
long as
dollar.
it's appropriate, and we'll do that.
Right here. It's an hourly time frame. Dollar is just nuking right now.
Thanks for taking our questions, Chair Powell.
It's good for
I
Bitcoin,
wonder,
by the way.
obviously, Michelle Bowman has been saying that there is a risk that rates may need to increase further, although it's not her baseline outlook. I wonder
S&P.
if you see that as a risk as well, and if so, what
The
change in
S&P.
conditions would merit considering raising rates at this point?
So I think it's unlikely that the next policy rate move will be a hike. I'd say it's unlikely. You know, our policy focus is really what I just mentioned, which is how long to keep policy restrictive. You ask what
Yeah,
would
I
it
don't know if
take?
Bitcoin's going to
You
sweep
know,
the
I
lows
think we
anymore.
need to see persuasive evidence that our policy stance
There's
is
no
not
way anyone's
sufficiently
going to be trying to
restrictive
grab
bring
a.
inflation sustainably down to 2%
I don't know.
over
I mean,
time.
they could try
That's
to
not
cascade the
what we
longs
think
real
we're
quick,
seeing,
but
as I
no,
mentioned.
there's way too much buying
Something like
pressure
that is
now.
what it would take. We'd look at the totality of the data, answer that question. That would include inflation expectations, and all the other data too. Well, I think, again, the test, what I'm saying is if we were to come to that conclusion that policy weren't tight enough to achieve that, so it would be the totality of all the things we'd be looking at. It could be expectations, it could be a combination of things. But if we reach that conclusion and we don't see evidence supporting that conclusion, that's what it would take, I think, for us to take that step.
Thank you, Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. You didn't mention the idea that rates are at a peak for the cycle, and didn't mention the idea that it might be appropriate to cut rates later this year, as you have at previous press conferences. So has the Fed sort of dropped its easing bias? Where are you standing on that?
So on, let me address cuts. So obviously, our decisions that we make on our policy rate are going to depend on the incoming data, how the outlook is evolving, and the balance of risks, as always. And we'll look at the totality of the data. So I think, and we think, that policy is well positioned to address different paths that the economy might take. And we've said that we don't think it would be appropriate to dial back our restrictive policy stance until we've gained greater confidence that inflation is moving down sustainably toward 2%. So, for example, let me take a path. If we did have a path where inflation proves more persistent than expected, and where the labor market remains strong, but inflation is moving sideways and we're not gaining greater confidence, well, that would be a case in which it could be appropriate to hold off on rate cuts. I think there's also other paths that the economy could take, which would cause us to want to consider rate cuts, and those would be two of those paths would be that we do gain greater confidence, as we've said, that inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%. And another path could be, you know, an unexpected weakening in the labor market, for example. So those are paths in which you could see us cutting rates. So I think it really will depend on the data. In terms of peak rate, I think really it's the same question. I think the data will have to answer that question for us.
Well, and could you just follow on the path where you might not cut? Is that you mentioned there would be inflation?
Yeah, S&P is full
persistent,
line right now.
I mean, is inflation, would that be the key data in making that decision, or?
Again, we've set ourselves a test that for us to begin to reduce policy
Just that
restriction,
1 minute.
we'd want to be confident that inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%. And for sure, one of the things we'd be looking at is the performance of inflation. We'd also be looking at inflation expectations. We'd be looking at the whole story, but clearly incoming inflation data would be at the very heart of that decision.
Nick Timrose of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, to what extent has the easing in financial conditions since November contributed to the reacceleration in growth? And do you now expect a period of sustained tighter financial conditions will be needed to resume the sort of disinflation the economy saw last year?
So I think it's hard to
Finances
know that. I
starting to
think
get
we'll be
squeezed.
able to look back, from down the road and look back and understand it better. If you look at, let's look at growth. Really, what we've seen so far this year in the first quarter is growth coming in about consistent with where it was last year. I know GDP came in lower, but you don't see an acceleration in growth. I mean, the thought would be that financial conditions loosened in December, and that caused an uptick in activity, and that caused inflation. Presumably, that's what we're tightening in the labor market. You don't really see that happening. What you see is
My bar
economic
statistics just
activity
broke here,
at a level
showing
that's
zero
roughly the same
liquidations throughout
as
like the entire
last year.
range.
So,
that's
what's
interesting.
causing this inflation, we'll have a better sense of that over time. I don't know that there's an obvious
a refresh
connection
on
there,
this?
though, with easing
No.
of financial conditions. In terms of tightening, you're right.
There we go.
Rates are certainly higher now and have been for some time than they were before the December meeting, and they're higher, and that's tighter financial conditions, and that's appropriate given what inflation has done in the first quarter.
You've said in the past that stronger growth wouldn't necessarily preclude rate cuts. I wonder, would continued strength in the labor market change your view about the appropriate stance of policy if it was accompanied by signs that wage growth was reaccelerating?
So I just want to be careful that we don't target wage growth or the labor market. And remember what we saw last year: very strong growth, a really tight labor market, and a historically fast decline in inflation. So and that's because we know there are two forces at work here. There's the unwinding of the pandemic-related supply side distortions and demand side distortions, and there's also monetary policy, restrictive monetary policy. So I wouldn't rule out that something like that can't continue. I wouldn't give up.
Thank you guys for sitting through this, by the way. This is probably the most boring stuff you can possibly watch. It's like worse than a school lecture.
Still report that there are supply side issues that they're facing, and also, even when the supply side issues are solved, it should take some time for that to affect economic activity and ultimately inflation. So there are still those things. So I don't like to say that either growth or a strong labor market in and of itself would automatically
a wall here,
create
350
problems on inflation,
Bitcoin.
because,
Let's see what the
of course, it didn't
reaction
do
on
that
this
last
is.
year. You ask about wages. We also don't target wages. We target price inflation. It is one of the inputs. The point with wages is, of course, we like everyone else like to see high wages, but we also want to see them not eaten up by high inflation. And that's really what we're trying to do, is to supply side to bring the economy back to 2% inflation. Part of that will probably be having wage increases move down incrementally toward levels that are more sustainable.
Hi, Chair Powell, Rachel Siegel from the Washington Post. Thanks for taking our questions. You talked about needing time to gain more confidence that inflation is sustainably moving back down to 2%. It's May now. Do you have time this year to cut 3 times, just given the calendar?
Yeah, I'm not really thinking of it that way.
That's a very pertinent question.
We need to be more confident, and we've said, my colleagues and I today said that we didn't see progress in the first quarter, And I've said that it appears then that it's going to take longer for us to reach that point of conference. So I don't know how long it'll take. I can just say that when we get that confidence, then rate cuts will be in scope, and I don't know exactly when that will be.
And with hindsight, are there any signs that you can look back on now, looking at the reports from January or February or March, that suggested something more worrying than just expected bumpiness?
Not really. So I thought it was appropriate to reserve judgment until we had the full quarter's data, until we saw the March data. And so take a step back. What do we now see in the first quarter? We see strong economic activity. We see a strong labor market, and we see inflation. We
There
see
are
three
no
inflation
sellers
readings.
right now.
So
Going
I
into
think
this
you're at a
wall, that's
point
gonna be
there where
interesting.
you should take some signal. We don't like to react to 1 or 2 months data, but this is a full quarter, and I think it's appropriate to take signal now, and we are taking signal. And the signal that we're taking is that it's
I think he
likely to
just
take
moved it out
longer
of
for us
the order
to
books.
gain confidence.
I don't think it got
that we
filled.
are
I think he just deleted it from the
sustainably
order
at 2%
books.
inflation. That's
He
the
said,
signal
nope.
that we're taking.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I could, Steve Leisman, CNBC, if I could follow up on that. Um, what particular areas were sort of temporary or blips in the inflation data in the first quarter? And what's the dynamic by which you
Finances getting
expect them to work
squeezed.
out in the coming
This could be it. The
months and
Bart
quarters?
Simpson
Yeah. So we
up
will
through this.
we will put the
This
thing.
low
We have
volume
put the thing
area.
under a
This
microscope.
5-minute
I will
candle
say
should be pretty
nothing is
volatile.
going to come out of that that's going to change the view. I think that in fact we didn't gain confidence and that it's going to take longer to get that confidence. But confidence, I just think you know the story. What's happened since December is you've seen higher goods inflation than expected, and you've seen higher non-housing.
As usual,
inflation
Powell
than
does not
expected, and those
want to
two
give a
are working
direct
together
answer on
to-
what's actually going to
to sort of
happen.
be higher
He's just
than-
going to be
than many thought.
50-50
And
the
there are
whole
stories
time, and then
behind
CME
how
Group will
that
then
happened.
figure it out.
And
I swear they have like
I
meetings
think-
behind closed doors,
my
and then
expectation
Jerome
is
just
that
tells
we
CME
will,
when they're going
over
to
the
cut.
course of this year,
So
see
we'll wait for
inflation
them to come
move
out with their
back down.
predictions, and that'll
That's
really tell
my-
us what's
my
going to happen.
forecast. I
But
think
it
my
definitely seems like
confidence
he's
in
not
that is
signaling for
lower
three
than
cuts
it
this
was,
year, which is
because of
good.
the data
So
that we've seen.
probably
So
November.
we're looking at those things. We also continue to expect, and I continue to expect, that housing services inflation, given where market rents are, those will show up in
Let's go Bitcoin.
in measured housing services inflation.
Rest in peace,
over time.
Binance. Getting
We
squeezed
believe
here.
that it will. It looks like that there are substantial lags between
Bybit's also getting
when
squeezed.
lower
See?
market rates turned up and for new tenants, and when it shows up for existing tenants or for in housing services.
Oh, we got another
If I
wall
could
coming
just
up here in the
follow up,
order
Is there a
books.
bit of a contradiction in the idea that you are reducing quantitative tightening, which is sort of an easing, while you're holding rates steady at a restrictive rate to try to slow and cool the economy and inflation? Thank you.
I wouldn't say that. No, I mean the active tool of monetary policy is, of course, interest rates, and this is a plan we've long had in place to slow, really not in order to provide accommodation to the economy, but to be less restrictive to the economy. It really is to ensure that the process of shrinking the balance sheet down to where we want to get it is a smooth one and doesn't wind up with financial market turmoil the way it did the last time we did this, and the only other time we've ever done this.
Torres from Bloomberg. Two questions. First, simple one. Given the run of data since March, has the probability in your mind of no cuts this year increased or stayed the same? That's the first question. Second question. Chair Powell, you joined the board in 2012, and I'm sure you remember, as I do, what the jobless recovery was like. Lawyers, accountants, all kinds of highly qualified people who couldn't get jobs. And given your history there, I wonder if there's an argument for being more patient with inflation here. We have strong productivity
Lots of
growth.
buyers at the top of that
That's
candle.
helping wages
Let's see
up,
if they get trapped.
go up. We have good employment. And so it seems to me there's a lot of hysteria about inflation. I agree. It's, nobody likes it, but is there an argument for being patient and working with the economic cycle to get it down over time? Thank you.
So on your first question, I don't have a probability estimate for you, but all I can say is that, you know, we've said that we didn't think it'd be appropriate
Not an
at 2%. We
okay.
didn't get
I don't know what
our
that was.
confidence in that didn't increase in the first quarter.
That wasn't
and
my
in fact,
YouTube. That was
what really happened
CNBC. They're like,
was, we came to the
what even
view
is
that it
this?
will
Is it
take
like
longer
some
to
like
get that
Indian
done.
CNBC?
I think there are, I think it's
Is that why the quality's so bad? They're
economy
like
has been
streaming a
very hard
stream.
for
Yeah,
forecasters
CNBC
broadly
a watch.
to predict its
What?
path, but there are paths.
Why was this the first one that was
not
recommended on
cutting,
my
and there are
YouTube
paths to cutting. It's
for
really up and
FOMC?
down
I mean, it's
data.
not worth changing
In
it
terms of
now.
the
I just realized how did I not
employment
realize that
mandate,
before? Yeah, this is not.
to your point, if you go back a
whatever.
couple of years, our sort of framework document says that when you look at the two mandate goals, and
I
if
don't
one
know,
of
I
them's
guess here, let me-
further away from goal than the other, then you focus on that one. It actually, it's the time to get back there.
Let me actually get this to.
Times the, times
your
how
point,
far it is from the goal. If you go back a couple of years, our
Now that looks like
our sort of
1080p. Sorry about
framework
that, guys.
document says that when you look at the two mandate goals, and if one of them's further away from goal than the other, then you focus on that one. It actually, it's the time to get back there.
Let me make sure the volume's still good
Times
here.
the, times how far
Yeah,
it is from the goal.
volume looks the
And
same.
that was clearly inflation. So our focus was very much on inflation. And this is what we referred to in the statement. As inflation has come down now to below 3% on a 12-month basis, it's become we're now focusing the other goal, the employment goal, now comes back in to focus, and so we are focusing on it, and that's how we think about that.
Claire Jones, Financial Times. Thanks a lot for the opportunity to ask the questions. Just to go back to the answer before the previous one, it seemed to suggest that you think the likeliest path of inflation is one that's going to allow you to have a situation where rates are lower at the end of the year than they are right now. It would be good if you could just confirm whether or not that's a correct reading. And the Q1 GDP print has led to some to start mentioning the term stagflation with respect to the US economy. Do you or anyone else on the FOMC think this is now a risk?
I have a quick question. Do you usually invest in 50 to 100 mil market cap coins
really
as
in
well?
likelihoods. I think
Pretty much all of my
paths
money is in
the
coins
economy
that
can take
were
that would
at
involve cuts in their paths
like
that wouldn't.
20 to 100 million dollar
I
market
don't
cap.
have
A lot
great
of them
confidence
are like
in which of those
now
paths.
up
I
to,
think
you know,
I would say my personal
500
forecast
mil or
is that
something
we
like
will
that.
begin to see
So
further
yeah, it's
progress
like
on
50% of my
inflation this year.
portfolio is like
I don't
100 mil
know
market
that
cap
it will be
coins. The
enough
other
sufficient.
50% was just
I
like
don't know
full
that it
degen
won't.
20
I
mil.
think we're going to have
And
to let the data
that's where you make the most money,
lead us
right?
on that. In terms of your question, your
You
second
know,
question
I'm
was
not old. I'm
stagflation.
not, investing with my
I
retirement
guess I would
fund.
say
I'm
I was around
I'm
for
risking it,
stagflation,
because
and
why
it
not,
was,
right?
10% unemployment.
That's how you make money in
It
crypto for
was
sure. Yeah, just do your
high
research.
single digits inflation.
50 to 100 mil
Right
market
now
cap
we
coins are where you
have-
make money.
And
Just be
very
careful
slow
getting
growth.
into like micro caps. Like
So,
anything under
right
10
now
mil
we
is like,
have 3%
that-
growth, which is
just know
pretty
they're gamble
solid
plays.
growth, I would say, by any measure. And we have inflation running under 3%. So I don't really understand where that's coming from. And in addition, I would say, most forecasters, including our forecasting, was that that last year's level of growth was very high, 3.4% in, I guess, the fourth quarter, and probably not going to be sustained and would come down. But that would be our forecast. That wouldn't be stagflation. That would still be to a very healthy level of growth. And of course,
If you
with
actually want to
inflation,
see my
we
portfolio, it's
will
posted in the
return
Discord,
inflation
right? I
to
think it's still
2%.
posted. Let me check this.
And that won't be. So I don't see the stag or the inflation, actually.
Portfolio temporary. This is my portfolio.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg.
I'll probably
Radio and
remove this
Television.
from the Discord
The vice chair
once we
of the FOMC said recently that he's
leave
willing
this
to
range,
consider
but while
the
it's still,
idea that
in a
growth
potential
has
accumulation
moved
zone,
up. Of course, he's
I just have these in here.
Mr.
The
Potential
one
Growth
coin I
Rock
don't own
Star.
anymore is PIP.
Do you share
I
that
sold my
view,
PIP.
and
I now
would
own
that
Radiant,
imply
so
that
Radiant,
maybe policy isn't tight
while it's
enough?
not in here, I do own that as well. I have actually a large amount in Radiant right now,
So
but yeah, this is my
I think I
portfolio.
would
Join the
take that
Discord and you
question
can
as,
see all that.
We saw a year of very high productivity
Yeah,
growth
these
in 2023.
These buyers up top are
We
getting
saw a
trapped, in
year of
fact.
negative
So
productivity productivity growth in 2022.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
So I think it's
This is
hard
looking
to
very
draw
similar to that
from
that last ETF
the data.
deviation that we
I mean, the
had
question is, will
back in
productivity
January.
run- or
So
two questions.
if
One
that
is,
were to
will
play out,
productivity run,
similar thing, would
persistently
be
above
like
its longer run trend? I don't think we know that. In terms of
something like that.
potential output, though, if that's a separate question, we've had what amounts to a significant increase in the potential output of the economy. That's not about productivity. It was about having more labor.
Lots of sell imbalances. That's going to be big resistance.
Both through
Let's see
participation,
what
also
happens there.
through immigration. So we're very much like other forecasters and economists getting our arms around what that means for potential output this year and next year.
That back test of the VWAP
and-
though
and
is real
last year for that
bullish.
matter, too. So I think in
So,
that
like,
case,
what
I
makes
think
sense
you
now
really
is
do have
probably
a significant increase in potential output, but you've also got
back test
so you've got more
VWAP.
supply, but those people also come in and they work, they have jobs,
We'll see.
they spend. So you've also got
Already having a lot of buyers step
so
in.
it may be that you get more supply than you get demand at the beginning, but ultimately it should be neither inflationary nor disinflationary over a longer period.
Well, you said earlier that at this point, you're not really considering rate increases. If growth is higher, but you're not considering rate increases, does that imply that you're more worried about causing the economy to slow too much than you are about inflation taking off again?
No, I think we believe our policy stance is in a good place and is appropriate to the current situation. We believe it's restrictive, and our evidence for that I went over earlier. You see it in the labor market, you see it in inflation-sensitive spending, where demand has clearly come down a lot over the past few years, and that's more from monetary policy, whereas the supply side
Bought
things that are
some on
happening
the
are more on
12th,
the supply
13th
side.
of
So,
April. Could have gotten a better price,
that's
yeah.
how I would think about it.
But if we do get this altcoin season, which I think is going to happen,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence,
buying
from
anywhere in
Fox
this
Business. So,
range is
GDP growth
probably going to be
is about
good. You know,
2%, inflation-
you should
employment
like
is
if
about
it's
4%.
anything
It
like
feels a lot
2020,
a
you could buy
steady
pretty much
state,
any altcoin in
and we
this
have
range, and you're going to make a
3% inflation.
5x.
So if the
So
data
we'll see what
remains the
happens.
same that you're seeing, and I know you said you don't see a rate hike, but it stands to reason that you would need a rate hike to get from 3 to 2% inflation. So was there any discussion about a rate hike in today's meeting? And are you satisfied with 3%
S&P
inflation
is
for the
just
rest of the year?
going.
Well, of course, we're not satisfied with 3% inflation. 3% can't be in a sentence with satisfied. So we will return inflation to 2% over time, but over time. And we think our policy
We definitely
stance
backing the flag, that's for
is
sure.
appropriate to do that. So if we were to conclude that policy is not sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation sustainably down to 2%, then that would be what it would take for us to want to increase rates. We don't see that. We don't see evidence for that. So that's where we are.
Was there discussion about a rate hike at all?
So the policy focus has been on
Which
what to do about
which is
holding
actually
the
bullish.
current-
It's kind of like
the current
ascending
level of
wedge up.
restriction. That's part of the policy.
With
That's where the policy
the top
discussion is
side
made.
coming
I
in.
wanted to follow on the 3%. Is there a time frame of persistent inflation that would trigger a rate hike?
There isn't any rule. You can't look to a rule. These are going to be
Maybe.
judgment calls. Clearly, restrictive monetary policy needs more time to do its job. That is pretty clear based on what we're seeing. How long that will take and how patient we should be, it's going to depend on the totality of the data, how the outlook evolves.
Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico. You've talked about your commitment to being apolitical and nonpartisan, and I was just wondering, given that it's an election year, is the bar for rate changes higher close to an election? And similarly, is there a significant economic difference between, starting to cut in, say, September versus December?
So we're always going to do
Interesting portfolio, a
what
couple
we think the
ideas.
right thing
Yeah,
for the
I mean, they should
economy
only be
is
ideas, right?
when we
It's
come to
just
that consensus
something
view that it's the
I'm
right
throwing
thing to
out
do
there.
for the
Like, this is
economy.
what I
It's our
own,
record.
but do your
That's
own
what we do.
research, right?
We're
Don't just
not
blindly
looking
buy
at
something because I own
anything
it.
else.
You
It's
don't know how much I
hard
have in
enough to
each of
get
those
the
positions,
economics
right? I might
right
have
here.
$100 in something. I might have
Things, and if we were to-
$100,000 in
if we were to
something. You
take
just
on a
don't know.
whole
So
other set of
do your own
factors
research so
and
you can
use
figure
that
out
as a new
what
filter,
are the
it
plays
would
you want to be
reduce the
putting
likelihood
more of
we'd
your money
actually get
into.
the economics right. So that's how we think about it around here. And, we're at peace over it. We know that we'll do what we think is the right thing when we think it's the right thing. And we'll all do that. And that's how everybody around here thinks. So I can't say it enough that we just don't go down that road. If you go down that road, where do you
Finance
stop?
got squeezed.
And we're not on that road. We're on the road where we're serving all the American people.
100 Bitcoin, short
and
liquidation
making
at
our
the top of that
decisions
wick.
based on the data and how those data affect the outlook and the balance of risks.
And then is there a
That's
significant
a
difference
short squeeze right
between,
there.
whether you start in, say, September versus December? An
There's
economic
a
difference?
significant difference between an institution that takes into account all sorts of political events and one that doesn't. That's where the significant difference is. And we just don't do that. I mean, you can go back and read the transcripts for this is my fourth presidential election here. Read all the transcripts and see if anybody mentions in any way the pending election. It just isn't part of our thinking. It's not what we're
Football
hired to
started,
do.
but better watch
If we
this.
start
Yeah.
down that road, I don't know how you
I don't
stop.
know. I think this is more exciting to watch. Price action is like, I don't know. I love this stuff. Watching Bitcoin to react when it's
Thank you,
volatile.
Chair Powell. Question about the labor
Especially when
market.
we are
You've
getting
mentioned
this
a few
like
times
pertinent,
that
you
the
know,
labor market is
economic
normalizing,
good
certainly
news.
today's
I will
jobs
say
and
Jerome
statistics,
Powell
but
is
that things are kind of
extremely
getting back to
boring to
pre-pandemic
watch. So
levels.
hopefully
One
adding in
thing
the
that hasn't
charts and some
normalized is
TA,
wage
you know,
growth,
my
which is still
thoughts on
quite a bit
things
stronger than before
are
the
helping out
pandemic.
with
I wonder if you can share your
slog that
analysis
is
of
the
why that's
FOMC
happening.
meeting.
Is it a lagging indicator or
yeah.
something else going on?
So I think if you
you
go back to
think-
where wages peaked, wage increases
think about
peaked
Crow
a couple,
with
3
kni-
years ago. Essentially, all
Crow
wage
with
measures
knife?
have come down substantially to that. But
What is
they are
Crow
not
with?
down to where they were before the pandemic. They're still roughly a
Are you talking about
percentage
like
point higher.
Crow
And we've seen pretty consistent
crypto?
progress, but not uniformly. And
Falling
you'll note
knife?
the ECI
I'm
reading
confused.
from Tuesday was expected to have come
Like,
down.
yeah, I do know
essentially
Crow is a
flat
coin. I just didn't know the knife part. Is it?
think
Does Crow have a falling knife right now? We'll
so,
check this.
Yeah, I mean, it's that part of it is.
Let me put it
bumpy.
on.
And again, we don't target wage increases, but it, in the longer run, if you have
It's not correct. GRO.
wage
Okay.
increases running
think.
higher than productivity would
Yeah,
warrant, and
Crypto.com.
then,
Is this what you're
know,
talking about?
there will be inflationary pressures. Employers will raise prices over time
Crow.
if that's the case. So
I mean,
we've seen progress. It has been
So is this what you're talking about?
inconsistent, but we have seen a substantial decline overall.
I
But
feel like
we have
there's
ways to
another
go.
Crow. Let me know the ticker if you're talking about a coin. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't think this is it. Unless you're like calling this a knife.
Consumers are feeling the weight of
Talking about
interest
this?
rates right now. Mortgage rates are up, as are rates for car loans, credit cards. People looking to borrow are very discouraged. That's reflected in their views on the economy. What would you say to them?
Well, the thing that hurts everybody, and particularly people in the lower income brackets, is inflation. If you're a person who's living paycheck to paycheck, and suddenly all the things you buy, the fundamentals of life go up in price, you are in trouble right away. And so with those people in mind in particular, what we're doing is we're using our tools to bring down inflation. It will take some time, but we will succeed, and we will bring inflation back down to 2%, and then people won't have to
This can't
worry
be
about
it.
again. That's what we're doing, and we know that it's painful and inconvenient. But
CAW.
the
Am I
dividends
just
will
drawing a
be
blank
paid
here? Am I
in the
stupid, or
long
is there
run.
like?
Very large? And
Help me out in
and
chat,
everyone will
guys.
share in those dividends, and we've made
What
quite a
are we
lot of
trying to-
progress. If you
what
if you
was the
think
crow
about
with
that.
knife?
I think headline core PCE peaked at 5.8. Now it's at anyway. Headline peaked at 7.1.
This is bullish, by the
now
way.
it's
If this is what you're
2.7.
talking about.
Don't want to get that wrong.
No, you don't.
That does look
Quick
bullish.
follow-up. Are current interest rates really doing that much, though, to fight inflation right now for those consumers?
Yes, I mean, I think that restrictive monetary policy is doing what it's supposed to do, and it's also in this case unusually working alongside and with the healing of the supply side. This that was different this time was that a big part of the source of the inflation and the reason why we're having this conversation is that we had this supply side kind of collapse with shortages.
Carlos, where you
and
at?
bottlenecks and all
What's
that
up with the
kind of
crow
thing.
with knife? I'm
And
very intrigued by
so,
this.
This was to do with the shutting down and reopening of the economy and other things that really raised demand. So many factors did that. So I think now you see those two things working together, the reversal of those supply and demand distortions from the pandemic and the response to it, along with restrictive monetary policy. Those two things are working to bring down inflation, and we've made a lot of progress. Let's remember how far we've come. We have a ways to go. We've got work left to do, but we're not looking at the very high inflation rates that we were seeing 2 years ago.
Actually, want to look back at total 3 year.
Courtney Brown from Axios.
It's
Thanks for
Kyle, okay.
taking our questions, Chair Powell. I wanted to follow up on something you mentioned earlier on housing inflation. There's kind of
This
been
100 stream?
long-awaited disinflation in shelter that still hasn't arrived. So I guess two questions. How do you explain the substantial lags between some of the private sector
0.06 is the
data we're
price. I
seeing
mean, this is not
and
0.06.
the government data? And how confident are you that rents will be helpful on the inflation front in the coming months?
Hold up, I'll look at that chart if that's actually it. Let me see if I can find another
Essentially,
call.
there are a number of places in the economy where there's
This
a
thing
lot
not
of
on TradingView?
lag structures built into the inflation.
Just like a
process.
Dextos
Housing is one of them.
thing I should be looking at.
When you have when
Is
someone
this it?
a new person goes to rent an apartment.
Type
that's
yes
called
in chat
market
if
rent.
this is the
And
right
you can see
chart.
market rents are barely going up at all. The inflation in those has been very low. But it takes, before that, they were incredibly high. They sort of led the high part. So what happens is those market rents take years, actually, to get all the way into rents for tenants who are rolling over their leases. Landlords don't tend to charge as much of an increase.
Just picked up some
to a
Radiant, big
rollover
dog.
tenant
Yes, sir.
For whatever reason.
Radiant. We'll look at
What
Radiant
that
chart
does
real
is
quick.
It builds up a sort of an unrealized portion of increase.
Radiant's something
when
that's
there
at
have been
a
big
good price
increases.
level, in my
And
opinion.
what happens
This
is,
chart
you know,
looks insane.
It's complicated, but the story is it just takes some time for that to get in. Now, I am confident that as long as market rents remain low, this is going to show up in measured inflation, assuming that market rents do remain low. What will be the exact timing of it?
Ignore that.
I think we've learned that the lags are longer. We now think significantly longer than we thought at the beginning. And so confident that it will come, but not so confident in the timing of it. But yes, I expect that this will happen.
Thanks.
Not financial advice, but this chart looks insane.
It seems that over the past
Still in the bear
3 or
market
4
range,
years,
right?
economies and
We were
central
talking
banks
about how
in developed
coins
markets have been on more or less the
are
same
getting back down to where they were
trajectory,
like back in
easing
the
during
summer, the
pandemic,
fall, and that sort of
fighting
thing. I mean,
inflation
this
with
thing is
restrictive policy on the way out.
pretty much
feels
in
like that may be
like the
ending in
bottom of the
2024
accumulation
based
range.
on some of
So,
the economic data from Europe and the
assuming
US
this
and
thing does
and
perform like I
from
think it
those
will,
central
right? I
banks
think
as
it
well.
should be up there with
My
something like
question is,
lithium,
what
right?
considerations or
I could
risks
see,
does a period of more
200,
divergent
$300 million
global
market cap
economic
would be easy on this
trajectories
guy,
and central bank policies
and we're at
present for the
like under
FOMC?
20 mil right now. So,
That-
not financial
you're right. I
advice,
think that may
but
happen.
this chart looks
And
really
I-
good.
You know that we all
We'll see
serve
if it does
domestic
play out how I think it
mandates,
will.
right? So I think the difference between the United States and other countries that are now considering rate cuts is that they're
Something
just
like
not
that.
having the kind of growth we're having. They have their inflation is performing about like ours or maybe a little better, but they're not experiencing the kind of growth we're experiencing. So we actually have the luxury of having strong growth
Back
and
to
a strong
Kyle. I'm gonna
labor
assume
market,
this
very low
is
unemployment, high job creation, and all of that, and we can be patient. and
price
we will-
number
we'll be careful
472.
and cautious as we approach the decision to cut rates, whereas I think other jurisdictions may go before that. In
Maybe
terms of
this
the
is it. If this is it, this chart.
I think obviously markets see it coming. It's priced
Like
in.
the
now.
overall chart doesn't look
So
bad, but
I think the
locally here, I
markets and
mean,
economies can adapt to it.
it is possible to
And I
come
think,
down.
You know, we haven't seen, in addition for the emerging
the-
market
the-
economies,
the
we
macro
haven't
trend,
seen
so.
the kind of turmoil that was more frequent 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And that's, I think, partly because emerging market countries, many of them have much better monetary policy frameworks, much more credibility on inflation. And so they're navigating this pretty well this time.
Okay. That actually doesn't look bad.
Thank you, Chair
Yeah,
Powell.
this-
Jennifer Schonberger with Yahoo Finance. You sort of
I mean, you
backed
have
away
already
from the
tested this
notion that
twice,
the
though, so,
economy would
like,
need to encounter pain
it
for
should have
inflation to
already
come
kind of
back
gotten
down.
above this, and now
But
should be
given sticky
backtesting
inflation
this. So
data
the fact
in
that you're
first
backtesting
quarter,
this
can
again,
disinflation still happen
could
along
it
a
break and then
painless
come
path for the
down?
economy?
Yeah.
Or is some softening in
But yes,
the
you do have
labor
support here.
market and
So
the economy
if that's what you're
likely
talking
needed
about,
to bring
then
inflation back down?
So you're right.
I don't know,
I think
it's not the
we
worst
thought
chart.
and
Not the
most
best.
people thought there would have to be
I know nothing about this coin, so
probably
let
a
me know if
significant,
this is actually the coin, and I will do some like more research
dislocations
into it
somewhere in the
on stream
economy,
here
perhaps
after
the labor
FOMC.
market, to get inflation all the way down from the very high levels it was at the beginning of this episode. That didn't happen. That's a tremendous result. We're very, of course, gratified and pleased that that hasn't happened. And if you look at the
Call
dynamics
logo
that
crow
enabled
with
that, it
knife
really was
crow.
this, and that
I'm so
so much
confused.
of the gain was from the unwinding of things that weren't
just
to
gonna-
do with
I'm just gonna
monetary
put these in
policy,
real
but
quick.
the unwinding of the distortions to the economy, you know, supply problems, supply side problems, and also some demand issues as well. The unwinding of those really helped inflation come down. Now, as I've said, I'm not giving up on that. So I think it is possible that those
Let me know in chat if
forces
this
will
is the
still
right coin.
work to help us bring inflation down. We can't be guaranteed that that's true though, and so you know
BTT
we're
and
trying to
win?
use our
Yes,
tools
I
in a
can.
way that keeps the labor market strong and the economy strong, but also helps bring inflation back down to 2% sustainably. We will bring inflation down to 2% sustainably. We hope we can do it without.
Just curious
you know,
to know
without,
if they will pass the
significant
2020
dislocations
all-time
in the labor
high.
market or elsewhere.
And speaking of
Yeah, I can
dislocations in
definitely
the
do
labor
that.
market, in terms of cutting, you said if there were weakness in the job market, that could be a reason to cut rates. So if the unemployment rate were to tick above 4%, but inflation not back down to your 2% target, how would you look at that? Would the unemployment rate popping back above 4% catch your attention?
You know, I said an unexpected weakening is the way I characterize it. So you know, and I'm not going to try to define exactly what I mean by that, but you know, it'd have to be meaningful.
Making a nice
and
bullish
get our
wedge
attention
there.
and lead us to think that the labor market was really significantly weakening for us to want to react to it. You know, a couple of tenths in the unemployment rate would probably not do that, but would be a broader thing that would suggest that.
I'm just gonna draw this real quick,
that
and
it
then
would
I
be
think
appropriate
it's.
to consider cutting.
Is it
I think
708
when you
right
decide
now?
to
Okay,
cut
so
will
that
depend
was the
on
right
all the
coin,
facts and
right?
circumstances,
This
not
is
just
708. So yes, this is it.
Chair Powell, thanks.
Yeah,
for taking
like I
question.
said, the
Kyle
charts.
Campbell with American Banker.
It's on support,
You've said
but
that
bigger support
broad
is
material
lower.
changes are needed to the
So
Basel III endgame
you know,
proposal.
I'm assuming if
and
Bitcoin
mentioned that,
rips to the upside
a
here,
reproposal
it'll rip
is
up. If
something that's on the
Bitcoin
table.
kind of
If
stalls,
you've had
it
more
could
time
test
to
this,
sort of sit
right?
with the public
What I will
commentary,
do
process
is
that,
I'm gonna save
understand the
your
options
coins, right?
available to you, you have a
For
better
when the
sense of
FOMC is
whether a
over,
reproposal
pull it
will
up on
be
the main
necessary,
screen here, and we'll
and
go
you have
over
a
all these
timeline
coins.
in
So
mind for when,
just keep
there's some
watching.
sort
I
of
will get
movement
to
will
all
be
your picks.
made
I got them in
about
chat
either
right here.
a
So
reproposal or a move
yeah, let's just wait for this FOMC to end, and then I'll go over
So let me
these
start
three
by
coins that
saying
you guys are
the
talking about
Fed
in the
is
chat.
committed to, you know, completing this process and carrying out Basel III endgame in a way that's faithful to Basel. And
Yeah,
also
basically, if Bitcoin go
comparable to
up,
what the other
all the other
large
coin go up,
comparable
unless they're like
jurisdictions are
scams
doing.
or meme
We
coins
haven't
that are
made any
completely overvalued.
decisions
So that's what I want to do. I want
policy
to
or
actually look at the fundamentals of them,
process
look
at
at
all.
like
Nothing-
market caps,
nothing-
that sort of
no
thing,
decisions
daily
have been made.
volume.
I'll
So
say
I'll actually do like kind of a
if
deep
we
dive on
conclude
the
that
coins
that
listed here.
reproposal is
Let's just wait
appropriate,
for
we
it.
won't
Wait for
hesitate to
Jerome
consider
Powell
it.
to finish speaking.
And then do you need to resolve issues with the capital proposal in order to advance other parts of the regulatory agenda, or do you expect to continue to make progress on those other agenda items?
So we're
You know,
testing
there's
that VWAP.
mechanical rule in place there, but I would say that the Basel III
See, buyers are stepping in right on
process
that
is by
volume
far
weighted
the most
average
important thing.
price.
It really is, I think, occupying us at this time in terms of what we're moving ahead with.
Thank you, Mark Hamrick with Bankrate. Mr. Chairman, what can you tell us about the approach that you take with your role in the sense of trying to achieve consensus, which you recently identified as a priority, while
With that
allowing
back
for
test
a
of
range
the
of views
golden
or even
pocket
dissent?
there.
We don't see many dissenting
Bullish.
votes in the official statements, even when more spirited discussions are noted in the minutes after the fact. How do you avoid groupthink and avoid a higher risk of a policy mistake? Thank you.
So I think if you listen to, and you all do, listen to my 18 colleagues on the FOMC.
Be
you'll
careful
see
with
that
how
we
much
do
for the
not
meme coins.
lack
Yeah,
for a
definitely.
diversity of voices and perspectives.
Meme
We really
coins are
don't.
all about,
And it's one
they're
of
just
the
like attention
great
tokens. They have
aspects
no
of the
utility.
Federal Reserve
So
System. We have 12
if
reserve banks
people
around
lose
the
attention
country
in
have
them,
their own
they
economic staff.
will pretty much go to
Not the people
zero.
who work here before.
So
They're different people in
yeah,
different
they're
So
a lot of them are
each
like
reserve
rogues
bank
too. Like they're
has its
fundamentally
own
bad.
culture around monetary
But
policy and
we'll
its
get
own
into
approach
them.
and that kind of
There
thing.
are some
It
memes that are
guarantees
like
you a
better
diversity of
buys
perspectives.
than every
So
other altcoin,
I
like
think
like
the
Mog
perspectives
Coin.
are very diverse.
Not saying to buy it now
And
because
in
it's
terms
up
in terms of
like
dissents,
20x from the lows, but
we have
that's
dissents,
like my second biggest holding.
and you know, a
But
thoughtful
but I was
dissent,
accumulating back when it was
is a
like
good
10,
thing,
20
you
million
know,
dollars.
if someone really
Now
makes you
it's
think, that kind of thing.
like
But
200
all
mil.
I can
So
say from my standpoint is I listen carefully to people. I try to incorporate their thinking, or do everything I can to incorporate their thinking into what we're doing. And I think many people, if they feel that's happening, you know, that for most people, most of the time, that'll be enough. But I'm not.
dollar's starting to reverse here. You can see.
It's not, you know, frowned upon or illegal or against the rules or anything like that.
So yeah, I
It just
expect
is the way things come out. And
back
I mean, I
test
think
with
we have a
that.
very diverse group.
Back
of members,
test golden
frankly, more
pocket.
diverse than it used to be in many
Bitcoin.
dimensions, more diverse from the obvious
Bitcoin either.
gender and demographic ways, but it also
Let me
we
get
have
this
more
white.
people who are not PhD economists. So we have people from business and
Either
law
backtest
and
golden pocket
academia and things like that. So I think you actually do have
or
quite a good
sweep.
diverse perspective. I think all of us read these stories about a lack of
We'll see
diversity.
what
And we
happens.
look around the room and say, I don't understand. I really don't understand what they're talking about. So, but I get the question though. Thank you very much.
Is he done? Is that it? Goodbye, drum. See you later. Okay, so FOMC is over. What did we learn? Absolutely nothing. I don't know. Pretty much kind of what I expected, right? He says the same stuff every single meeting. Inflation is still high. The jobs market is looking a little bit better, but could get bad. Basically, he did signal though some keynotes when asked about 3 rate cuts this year. Does not look like he's going to be cutting rates 3 times this year. So that's a good thing because right now it's priced in for about a 50-50 if there's going to be 3, which is why it's put at September, right? So if they take September out of the equation, that would be 2 rate cuts, November and December. So it is looking more like we're just getting 2 rate cuts, November, December this year, which would be bullish for markets. Markets are like rate cuts are not bullish for markets if you haven't learned that by now. So yeah, overall, I think that was a bullish meeting. I like what he said, but we will have to wait for CME to come out with their numbers on what they actually predict. Looks like we got, what is this? 700 Bitcoin wall put in at market. Bro thinks she's the market maker. We'll see how that plays out. He probably will be able to force price down. This is someone that saw, a potential for cascading liquidations. Like he probably entered up higher. He knows there's liquidity in this zone that will cascade down if he just shorts right there. So he just put in a big short to try to boost his position that he's already in. So that's some interesting stuff going on. We do have a bigger wall down here, right? 500 Bitcoin buy wall within that golden pocket, right? Like I was saying, golden pocket retest, very possible. So we'll see if that actually does play out, or if we go ahead and get into all these buy walls down there, right? So we'll see which one happens. I don't have really any input on which one is going to happen, right? It's pretty 50-50, to be honest. The fact that Bitcoin didn't go up more than it did with the S&P, though, like if the S&P pulls back to this trend, I see the chance for a sweep, right? Fill all these orders. Nothing bearish, just grab more liquidity, and then off to the races once again. Let me go ahead and pull up. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, we're going to get off this view. So I'm going to switch it to this. And then we will go ahead. Let me get chat back up here so I can see that. Jerome the man. Welp. We could drop. Yeah, but if we do drop here, this is not bearish. This would be very fast. Like I'm talking just like sweep, boom. It's just because FOMC classic thing, right? First move up, second move down, third move up. Like it's just classic FOMC stuff. It's not something you got to be bearish on. The only thing you might be worried about is like I longed the bottom in here, or you longed like somewhere up in here. You FOMOed long up top and you're underwater or something. If you're in a leverage position, just get your stop at entry or tiny loss, tiny profit. Your stops should be, at this wick. Don't put your stops down here thinking that, oh, well, it's probably just going to be supported by these walls. No, just you should have known not to leverage a FOMC. But if you're just on a spot, there's nothing to worry about. If anything, you're just looking to buy more spot bags, especially with that altcoin season coming up here potentially. But yeah, we did squeeze shorts. So the fact that this was a short squeeze instead of buyers actually stepping in pushing up price tells me the rotation down to the lows before finally actually making the move up is very possible. Let me get off trading line now. I'm going to cover you guys' altcoins right after I just run through Bitcoin on TradingView, just so we can get a view of what that looked like. So like we talked about with total 3, like we don't want to make a lower low than that. And let's see how total 3 reacted here. So on the daily, we're green. And we got 4 hours till this closes, so it looks pretty good so far. Let me get these out of here. If we pulled our fibs, right, I think this was 786. Yeah, nice bounce on 786, and we are above the golden pocket. So even with Bitcoin sweeping, like Bitcoin swept on the macro, altcoins didn't sweep. If Bitcoin does sweep here locally, which honestly I don't know. I mean, structurally this year, I mean, it would be fast. Like, oops. Like, I don't know, something like that. Like literally within the hour, just real quick, just grab the leverage. If we go down, it's not like an actual pullback. But yeah, with Bitcoin sweeping the lows, altcoins did not. So if Bitcoin were to pull back here, very possible altcoins just hold golden pocket and go. So yeah, altcoins are looking really, really good right now. Holding that golden pocket, this is a potential buying opportunity for altcoins, right? We held this low. It looks very similar. Like, look at this daily time frame. You see, like, first low. I guess you barely did sweep it, right? So it looks almost identical to last cycle. I'll show you here. So first low on the daily, swept it, got back above, held this though, did not sweep it again. Let's go to last cycle, where I think we are. Look at how similar this looks. It's crazy. This fractal is like identical. See what I'm talking about there? That is insanely identical to where we are now, right? Like history is repeating, that is for sure. Just look at that structure on a daily compared to right now. It's too perfect, guys. If you're not bullish right now, I don't know what to tell you. We got this ahead of us. We got the actual altcoin season. Right, alts up until this point we're good, right? There was a lot of gains already, but we still have half the gains to go, if not more, because a lot of your low caps will go up a lot more than these high caps, because total 3 is a lot of high cap altcoins. So when you have your high caps, running beforehand, you're going to have a lot of low caps go crazy in this range. Everything that's like at 100 mil market cap is going to, not everything, a lot of stuff that's at like 100 mil market cap right now will have the chance to get to $50 billion market cap. Like, this is where you see what the next gem is going to be for this cycle, right? This is where we find out what's going to be flipping the coins and getting into the top 10 that was not there before, right? Where are those new coins going to appear from? In my opinion, Casp is one of them, but that thing needs exchange listings. Talbot Tensor is another one that we could see top 10, So yeah, altcoin season. Let's get it. Let's see. Let's read the chat real quick. What year you made your Discord account? As I have same name, logo, but different years. I mean, I don't know when I made my Discord, years ago, like, yeah, like a long time ago. The crypto crane chat is recent, like 1 month ago. But yeah, I don't know. I thought Bitcoin was going higher too, to be honest. We could try, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Bitcoin, this is actually a pretty normal level for it to go to, right? You can see this is the sweep level, back tested it as resistance, back tested this previous day value area low. So it actually made a lot of sense to reject from this level right there. Now we're under this daily value area high. I would like to see that get reclaimed, because it's FOMC. It would not surprise me if we like I was saying, either come down to like value area, I guess point of control, then get back above value area high, or full sweep, then go, something like that, right? Whatever happens here is probably bullish, but we'll see. I mean, there's always the worst case scenario that, like, hey, bull market over, this is gonna just crash. This was just to squeeze some shorts before continuing the downtrend. But what tells me, like, yo, we got a potential massive altcoin season ahead of us is this total 3. I mean, this is fractaling something beautiful. As well as Bitcoin just looks really similar to that last Fed cut. You can see a lift off, pull back, like we were talking about earlier. This lift off, pull back, and then go. So if we do look at, I'm pretty sure, bet you this golden pocket. Yeah, front ran the 618 there on the golden pocket. So let's see where that would be if we do fractal, something similar, because crypto does love to fractal. It is happening a lot sooner because it's Fed, right? So FOMC day is going to be way quicker, more volatile sort of thing. So we have gotten through the 618. So let's see if we do in fact hold this golden pocket. Before I get into your guys' altcoins, there was that like long that was at the golden pocket. Did this thing get filled or did he remove it? Oh, he filled, yeah. So yeah, we just had a looks like 800 Bitcoin long position. Did just get filled. At this point of control, I guess it's not. No, it's not really the point of control. Is it TPO or anything? No. Okay, I don't know what he was doing actually. We'll see. I don't know if that position's actually gonna work out for him. But yeah, we'll get back to this later. We'll see how it actually played out. Right now, sorry for keeping you guys waiting. I'm gonna go cover your altcoins. See you next time, man. Keep up the good work. Were you one of the ones asking for? And no, it was just Carlos and Kane. Okay. Yeah. See you next time. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you guys all so much for watching right here. But let's go ahead. Let's get into those altcoins we were talking about. So let me pull these over to the main chart here. And there was one more. Wait a second. BitTorrent has a. Hold up. I have BitTorrent. Actually, I don't know why it's not showing up there. Is this I have BitTorrent, which is like an actual torrent. I don't think that's actually what the coin is though. We'll see. Such new to KuCoin. I want to see if there's like a better chart for it. Where did this come out first? I'm assuming. Polynex always launches their stuff first. I mean, maybe it has just, okay. Okay, I don't know. Maybe this is the best chart I'm gonna get for now. We'll see on CMC when they actually launched. Anyway, let's go ahead and make this bigger and then figure out what that other coin was. Let me scroll over the chat. This was, oh, two more. Okay, so hot. Holo, let's see, Mexi. No. Is this a Binance launch coin? I mean, yeah, Binance looks pretty good. So go ahead there. And then win. This isn't a I need a max win, is it? This better not be I need a max win. What is this? Is this I need a max win? Oh, looks like it. I'm assuming you're talking about I need a max win. We'll look at that on Dex Tools. Yes, it is okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll see about when. Look at the chart on Dex Tools and all that. So I mean, so far we'll start off with this. Actually, no, we're not gonna start off with this because I'll get to that later. So one by one, let's go through. Let's review all of these coins in depth. Like in depth. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is pull this back over here. We will load some stuff. CMC. ICO drops. Dex Tools. What is this pair that's already on? Okay, no, don't buy XCOM. That thing's like scam. We'll put it on log real quick. Why not? Anyway. Yeah, that thing shot up too with FOMC. Alright. First of all, chart. We already went over this, but macro looks bullish, right? Got a nice accumulation range that you're still kind of in. Will it break out? We'll find that out based on fundamentals and that sort of thing. But locally here, you lost your bull divs on a daily. Let's look at the 4 hour. You do have a 4 hour bull div, so that's good to see. So this thing looks potentially really good locally, right? 4 hour bull div, hourly bull div as well as we kind of looked at this as two. If you pull a volume range, volume profile from bear market low to current price, you are sitting right on top of your value area high. Already tested it twice, so third time is more likely to break, but with that 4 hour bull div, it could just be another backtest value area high. So chart does not look bad. Is it the best looking chart? No, like if it was down here, that would be a lot better, but that 4 hour bull div does look nice and all that. Let's go ahead and actually figure this out. Bitcoin is dropping right now. Yeah, it is. Let's see if we can get that sweep. All right, we're off the altcoins now. Until we get the sweep, maybe. I don't know. So basically, let's see here. We have this. So this is the bull div we want to hold. It looks like it's probably gonna do the sweep. So it's gonna sweep. Whoop. It's probably not even gonna sweep that. Like, I don't know, because to do a sweep on this trend, I guess wicks don't count though. So yeah, I mean, sweep, wick, hold. Something like that. That's what I'm seeing here. That makes a lot of sense to me. We will see what happens here. So far, I mean, this chart does look bearish. I won't lie. Bearish back test. You got a vector up, but you're not vectoring down, which means there's not the same liquidity to the upside. But I know how many buyers are on the bottom, and that fractal from total 3 is like. This is literally like 2021 repeating itself. So until that breaks, I'm bullish. It's FOMC day. This should be expected. Let's look at trading light real quick. Yeah, like I said, this wall was kind of in the middle of nowhere. I didn't really think that was going to hold, so I don't know what this guy was doing. Like I covered in my last video, just because you're big money does not mean you're smart money. This guy down here is smart though. He's had his wall in here for a minute. He knows the sweep is coming. So yeah, that's probably going to be a big support. I am going to put this chart on the left here, so I'll be able to see price if it is dumping. As of right now, we're just kind of holding some of it. Okay, Ka. Crow with knife. Why is it crow with knife? This is a hunter's dream. We'll figure that out. Let's go ahead. Ka. It is crow with knife. Okay. But why is it listed as a hunter's dream? Wait. Oh, that's a different coin. I'm so confused right now. Oh man, I was just charting the wrong thing for so long. Okay. Crow with knife. It's not on exchanges. Okay, it is on crypto.com. So why is it not? This is ridiculous. I don't know if do they not have crypto.com on TradingView? Anyway, sorry about that. I was charting the wrong coin. 100 stream is not what you're talking about. It's Ka. Crow with knife. Anyway, market cap 95 million, so that's a big market cap. 24-hour volume is 20 million, so that's a lot of volume for the market cap actually. It's on Chronos, so interesting chain to be built on for sure. Let's look at the macro. Hopefully you aren't buying this now. I mean, what is... No, it doesn't even show the market caps. Do they have Chronos on Dextools? Let's see. Yeah, they do. Okay. What is it up? 500%. I mean, it's not like the biggest rally ever. I mean, it's still, yeah, no, it is. That market cap's massive. If you got in at the lows down here, sure you can hold this thing. That's fine. But it's also probably maybe a good place to sell, right? Especially compared to what other coins are doing. Like personally, if this was me and I bought at the lows or bought like anywhere in this range and I'm up on my position on this thing, I am selling it and rotating it to something that is actually like pulled back and looks better in an accumulation range. I would not be buying this now. I think there's better things to buy just based on the chart. I'll look at the fundamentals and that sort of thing later, but yeah, I don't know about this. As far as just like buying it at current price. Can you look at Render and ADA? Yes, I can. We're gonna get through these other coins first, and then I'll make sure to check that out. Like I don't know. You have like a symmetrical triangle. It's probably gonna break to the downside. I don't know. I don't know if it'll be this bad. Actually, I don't know. If Bitcoin really rallies here, sure, you could go to the upside. It's at $95 million market cap. That is a big market cap. I know a lot of coins that have insane utility that are smaller market cap. So this thing better have some good utility if it's gonna have this market cap. And it's a meme coin. Okay, this better not be stuff you guys are buying now. Just come on, guys. Really? It's literally a crow with knife. I should have expected this.
Caprese did not redepo and lose.
So it's basically I need a max win, but it's crow with knife. Bruh. Come on, guys. if you bought down at the lows, sure, hold it, whatever. Personally, I'd be selling. Don't. I would not buy this right now. No, this is not. This is like. This coin ain't it. If you really like the meme, you know the devs or whatever, you think it has an insane community, and you bought lower, hold on to it. I'm not saying you got to sell or anything, but yeah, I know enough about this not to recommend it. I mean, they did get listed by Crypto.com, which is pretty crazy. So they got to have some connections. But I mean, when did they get listed? That's the thing. Let me just to say. Okay, they listed April 26th. We'll see. I mean, if they have plans to really push exchanges and they get on like bigger exchanges, you know, Crypto.com, I mean, that's a US regulated exchange. So if they're able to push those exchange listings, I mean, I don't know, maybe this is $1 billion meme coin, but if I were holding this, I would be selling. Very possibly a sell the news event on that exchange listing, right? I mean, it listed April 26th, right? Purchase. Yeah, it listed April 20. So it did list. It listed on this high, and you've already rallied from the listing. So I don't know. I mean, it's not as bad as it looked off first glance, just because of those exchange listings and how price has reacted to it. But I would not be buying now. That's my opinion. Okay, let's get off of Cal. What is the other coin? We got a lot of coins to get through here. I'm taking too much time on them. BTP, BitTorrent. I think I've heard of this coin before. Yeah, there's a bullish kind of wedge triangle thing going on here. You don't really have a daily bull div, 4 hour, no bull div, hourly bull divs. You are getting a nice balance off of this. Yeah, this could be a potentially good coin to buy. Or hold, right? If I was holding this, I would continue to hold it, as long as I like the fundamentals. Buying it now, it's up 200% off the lows. That's not too bad. Let me go ahead, check the market cap. Ooh, $1 billion market cap. So you're not going to have the same upside potential as, you know, something that's smaller, of course. It's already listed on Binance. So I don't know. I mean, it's a legit coin. It could be good. Let me go to check the website real quick. It's a Bitcoin scaling solution. I think it's a good narrative. I guess staking. So yeah, if you're holding and you got it staked, I mean, definitely continue to hold. This is one I would certainly not be selling if you like the fundamentals. And if you really like the fundamentals, yeah, this is a potential buy. This is a lot better than buying a crow with knife. But this is top 10 deep in. So I don't know how a deep in or a Bitcoin scaling solution is in the deep in space, but maybe. What does this thing got, like AI as well? Check their Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. It does look good. Like the chart looks decent. It's not up too much from the lows. If you like the fundamentals, this might not be the worst buy in the world. It is making a bullish pattern on that chart. The only thing that's like that I will say is it doesn't have the same upside as, you know, other coins, right? You're not going to get 100x out of this thing, right? Like there's really no chance you get 100x. It's already listed on Binance, so you don't really have the chance of getting those big exchange listings. Yeah, you could get Coinbase, which could be pretty big, but yeah, looks good. It's legit. Got good fundamentals. It's in a good space, right? It's in the Bitcoin scaling solution. That's good. It is on the Tron network, that's interesting. I don't really know too many other projects that are on Tron, so that's interesting. Not necessarily bullish or bearish. So yeah, this could be a more of like a safer play. It doesn't look terrible. BTT. Not the worst thing in the world. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. What was it? Hot Holo. Big blow off top here back in March, April when you got the early meme coin season. What is this? Golden Pocket? Rejected Golden Pocket, so not the best looking thing in the world, but you're still kind of within the range of it, so not terrible. Let's go ahead and pull up. Let's pull up this chart. Yeah, big support right here. 4-hour bull div. Hourly bull divs are going pretty good. This is another one where it's like, if the altcoins rally, if Bitcoin rallies, this one will also rally. So like the past two I've covered, if Bitcoin go up, they will go up. This one right here, if Bitcoin go up, this, or not this, I get, okay, a crow with knife, if Bitcoin goes up, it might not go up. Just saying. But these two, yes. I mean, they look like they're decent altcoins. They're at good levels. They're looking very similar to a lot of other altcoins. From the lows, you know, only 100%. So you didn't really miss much on this thing. If you like the fundamentals, this one does look pretty good. This looks better. I think it looks better than BTT with the level it's at. It's kind of like Wyckoff, right? If we were to take a fixed range of this, bet you that's value area high. Let's take it from, I don't know, let's just take a few moves of this. This point of control, let's go from bear market bottom. Point of control, let's go whole bear market range, excluding the run. Oh, I have it on. Extend right. All right, so you're not actually above value area high, but you're at the point of control of this whole like bear market range in here. So this is kind of like Wyckoff, right? Breakout, back test, and then go. So you said you wanted to see if one of them could make an all-time high. Let's see this. Which one was this? Oh man, dude, there's so much in the chat. I will get to all this. Don't worry, guys. I don't know if I can find this. Okay, BTT and Win, if you want to see if those can make an all-time high. BTT, BitTorrent, what was the all-time high on this? I guess that was it. At like point, yeah, I think this definitely can make an all-time high. No doubt about it. Definitely could. Hot one I could see, you know, at least doing like macro golden pocket retracement. Like I don't know if it'll get up to where it was there, but macro golden pocket would be like that's like a price target on it for sure, potentially. Although I mean, what's the inflation on this thing? Holo, I don't know. Like the inflation might make that impossible. Probably does. So check the inflation on it. You know, if it has higher inflation, obviously those reaching the golden pocket is probably not going to happen. But yeah, the chart looks good there. Let's go to win. I need a mix win. Oh, it's not a need max win. Oh, is that one at the Y? Yeah, I need a max win is at the Y. Okay. This is different. This is wink link. $100 million market cap, so not the smallest thing in the world. Oh, chart looks pretty interesting. Again, it's one that's already listed on Binance. Pretty much I'm going to tell you the same stuff I told you with BTT. If you like the coin, if you're holding, I don't think you need to be selling it. It's another one that's on the Tron ecosystem. So yeah, pretty much everything I told you about BTT is going to apply to this thing. Let's move on to the next coin because we got a lot of. No, don't buy BTT. I waited 4 years is enough for me. I was thinking the same. Korean thinks. Imagine. Yeah, like I mean they don't look bad, but like the upside potential is not as much because it's already on Binance and it's at $1 billion market cap, that sort of thing. But let me see here. What else do we have? Okay, going from the top here. So we got Render, we got ADA. AI, RWA, DePIN, DeFi. Those are the plays this cycle. S&P is nuking right now. Look at that. I bet Bitcoin's going to follow, so we'll get into that whenever Bitcoin does start going down. But Bitcoin's still holding as of now. Dollar's trying to go for that golden pocket. So could that have been a fake move to the upside and we're actually bearish? Well, you will see. Okay, so those are the only two. So we'll check out those. Yep. So ADA, I think we all know what ADA is, so I don't need to check like CMC or anything. Also, okay, before I get into these, I pulled this up for a reason. Let me check this. ICO drops. BTT. Hello? Okay, there it goes. So 6% public. Most of it went to exchanges. Vested monthly over 12 months. Okay, yeah, so I mean they had a lot of supply to pre-sellers. It's a classic ICO coin that has a lot of pre-sale supply. You know, they could definitely dump on you, so yep, that's BitTorrent. And then the other one was in I don't know if they're gonna have this here. It was Win and get rid of it. I don't know. Anyway, let's just get into. Let me try to run through these charts real quick before ADA. I mean, this is gonna do what Total 3 does. I mean, looks very similar to the Total 3 chart. So yeah, I mean, I think ADA is a good project. I think they're being overlooked this cycle, right? So while it's not the cycle for ADA, right? I think ADA's time to shine was 2021. I still think it's a very good coin. It's not going anywhere, and it is a nice safe play. Buying here, it does look really good. Just like Total 3, if we have an altcoin season, this thing's gonna run real quickly. Before we jump into the render, Bitcoin dumping. Also, I've just noticed I've been talking without no music. Let's get this. That is too loud. Okay, hold up. Let me turn this down. Let's get some music on. All right. Bitcoin looks like it wants to come down to fill these walls. Maybe it's not gonna happen quite yet. Let me see. Is music good or is music too loud? Let me know in chat. I feel like it's a little too loud. Let me turn this down. All right, let me know if that's good in chat. Okay, so I think we can cover render real quickly. Back test of launch. Chart looks good, right? This is one where you've kind of missed all the gains, right? Not all the gains, but you've missed a ton of gains, right? The time to be buying render was, you know, in January 2023 or in, you know, during the summer. We are up about 1,700%, 500% from the lows. So while you have missed a good majority of the rally, what is the market cap of render right now? Not there. I mean, let's see. I know it's in the billions. Let's see. Yeah, 3 bill. I mean, I could see a 10x on this thing. Oh yeah, no, I know it can go up. This is like a main coin this cycle. I mean, render could be a top 10 play. Render's good. It's fundamentally very good. Yeah, 10 to 15 is easy money. I think 30 billion is definitely possible. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of the rally has already happened. So there's a lot of people up on their positions that can dump on you. It was a big ICO coin, so there's a lot of ICO investors that can dump on you. But I think they're gonna try to make this a main play. I could see top 10 for sure with render, top 20. You know, I can't give exact price targets because I don't know how big this rally is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like 2020, but if it is anything like 2020, $30 billion market cap, easy on render. So, yeah, I mean, the chart looks good if you are going to be buying now or you're just holding, right? I would definitely wouldn't be selling now. The chart looks like it's going to go up total 3, right? This is one of those coins. If Bitcoin goes up, render will also go up. I think it'll be a really good performer this cycle. I bought on $7-8. I still go. Yes, can dump, but if retailers coming, yes. Yeah, buying at $7-8 is not bad, right? 1.5 total 3 will go around 1.5 to 3 trillion, so it's hard to tell. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's reasonable. Yeah, render will definitely be a retail coin. I mean, it's the AI play, right? It's like it's kind of like the Nvidia of crypto right now. That's how it's compared to. So if it's gonna do anything like Nvidia, yeah, render gonna go crazy. So yeah, let's. Okay, let me check Bitcoin real quick. Or okay, we're still just chilling on Bitcoin right now. S&P did not play out how I thought it would. Right, I kind of drew this back test of a wedge. It just nuked all the way back down. And then this is not really rejecting golden pocket like I thought. So. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Render, Tau, fetch AI. Yeah. Those are some big dogs for sure. Let's go ahead and check the charts. Tau's another one that's up a lot. That was actually one that I went pretty big on. This is one of my biggest bags. I was buying. Look at my buys on Tau. I didn't get this. I was really hoping to get this. But yeah, this is where I bought all my Tau. Not actually there, but yeah, I bought all my Tau at like $48, $50, right in that golden pocket. It is now at 375. But it has pulled back a ton. So like let's see if we pull a golden pocket. Once again, you're in the golden pocket just like you were down here, right? Very similar, area on the fibs. Could this be the low? For sure it could be. I mean, it got the Binance listing up here. I think that's going to help it a lot. It got the Binance listing before Caspa did, which is crazy. They did not pay for that listing. So I'm really bullish on Tau. I think it's another one that's going to be like the NVIDIA of this cycle. Let's see here. And bought like a cow at the top. Algo. That's actually pretty sad. Algo has not performed very well. You could have bought like Luna though, or had all your money on FTX, so it could have been worse. Algo is actually RWA category, so it would be big potentially. So yeah, Tau is one of those that real quickly just before we do check out some of those plays. I mean, you pull just like order block, right? And we can actually check that with some of my indicators here. Let's go to a level identifier. It's probably a daily order block, right? I don't know why it doesn't show up as that. I mean, that's an order block though. So yeah, you're a big support right now. This chart's ridiculous, I know. This is not meant to be viewed on like a big time frame like this. Let's go back to this. But yeah, no, Talos is definitely at a good buying point, back testing all-time highs. I know that's not really something we need to be checking out because you just said it's a mainstay, as well as Fetch AI, something that looks similar to Tau, that sort of thing. Let me go ahead. Algo. Also, what is Bitcoin doing? Let me tap this over here just in case we get some volatility there. Algorand. Yeah, big dilution problem, big VC problem on this thing. Went over 95. My general rule is if something goes down more than 95% in a bear market, it's kind of dead, but it hasn't been performing too terribly. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely been underperforming other alts, but yeah, the chart looks good. It looks like every other altcoin, right? It looks like Total 3. I think this thing could definitely perform well. You said it's in the RWA space. I didn't really know it was. Let me see. See what we got going on here. That is a lot of 24-hour volume. So that's cool. I mean, mainly because it's on, it's on Coinbase and that sort of thing. Python on Algorand. What does that even mean? Like you can code on the chain? I don't know. They're really advertising that's for sure. I don't like this website. I feel like they could have done better with their website. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's check this roadmap. I don't want to read all this. Okay, I don't know. I mean, it's protocol stuff. They're I mean, I don't know. It seems like they know what they're doing. They're building a decent roadmap thing. I don't know. This is like a VC coin though. Like the I don't want to call them like VC scams, but I mean they're basically like, I don't know. They're like I don't know. It's just a classic coin that gets a bunch of VCs, makes something that looks really good, and then dumps on retail at the top. But we're not at the top. We're still at the lows. They clearly still have funding. So Algorand, yeah, if it's in the real world asset space, they could do a lot of marketing, push this thing. They got Python being on the chain, that's interesting. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Chart looks good. Algorand could be a good play. Wouldn't really be selling now. If you do think it's good. Sorry, I was confused. Algo with it. Okay. Sorry, I just went on a whole tangent about algo, and you weren't even talking about it. AVEX. I like AVEX better. Avalanche is like, it was a main coin last cycle. I think it'll be another main coin this cycle. There's a lot of people building on Avalanche. Look at the chart here. I think it's another one it's only up like 200%, but it does have a much larger market cap. Where did we get to? $382. Let me pull a fixed range here. Oh, look at that. Wyckoff backtest of Valkyrie high. This thing looks good. Yeah, AVEX could be a really good buy for sure. Yeah, I'm liking AVEX there. Let me look at the chat here. AVEX is Kareem, what do you think used in terms of holders? What do you use in terms of holders? Like, how many holders for that specific coin? You can look on chain. So like if we go to okay, I don't know. We'll talk about AVEX here. So like, you just go to CMC. You just look up AVEX. You just want to click on the contract, and it should tell you. I mean, because this is AVEX, I don't know if it's the same as like other. Let's see, like this doesn't actually show you holders. Okay, I'm actually not too sure for AVEX. Let's go to something different. What was another coin that was recommended? Render. Okay, so Render, we can look at the token holders for Render. So you just go to their contract, like this is on Etherscan. You can see it has 90,000 holders. Now, it's listed on exchanges. Each exchange is going to be just a couple holders because they have exchange wallets that have multiple addresses in them. At least I think that's how it works. I might actually be wrong on that, but yeah, this is how you can check holder count. Just go check on chain, and you will see it right here. So that's how you do that. Sorry for the brightness. Let's put this in dark mode. Okay. Anything else in the chat? Let's see. Nothing else. Let's go ahead. I'm going to. I don't know what I'm doing here. I gotta pull this over here. I'm gonna switch it back to this view. Here we go. We are, what, 2 hours into the stream. I do want to see, because we are getting that rejection on the Golden Pocket for DXY. We are getting, potential supportive areas on both Bitcoin and S&P. I'm going to go, I don't know, I'm going to go grab a quick snack. I will be watching the charts on my phone, so I'm just going to leave it on the screen. If I see us going for the sweep, I'll jump right back in here, which could be very soon. I'm just gonna go do that. I'm losing my voice here on the stream, but yeah, I'll be right back. Let me pull up the chat here, and then I'll also check the chat on my phone. So any questions you got, just leave them in the chat. I'll get to them when I get back. So yeah, be right back. Looks like we're maybe getting that sweep now. Just came back for a second to see what was going on here. Looks like we got open interest coming up on Binance. What are they opening? They're opening shorts. Of course they are. Bybit. Pretty 50-50 on Bybit. I mean, it's pretty 50-50 on both actually. Kane left the chat. I guess I didn't see this when I left earlier. Yeah, good to have you around. Have an awesome day, man. We'll probably be ending the stream here somewhat soon here anyway. Just want to see if we do get this sweep on Bitcoin. And then I got to get to editing a video for today's upload. Might just clip this stream together and do like a highlights reel or something. We'll see. Still here? Okay. True that. We might be heading off in 10 minutes here anyway. And Bitcoin, it does not want to sweep quite yet. But I mean, the fact that we're down at this, it tells me we're going to sweep it at some point. So yeah, still just waiting on that sweep. Same with like S&P, right? Looking very similar to Bitcoin. Markets. Yeah, markets close in 40 minutes, so. Right, it's 40 minutes? Yeah, okay. Is that 56K sweep? Do a lot. Yeah, I mean, yeah. What is you can see the sweep levels are here. So it's 56, 590, and then 56.5. Either of those are valid to sweep. Probably. I mean, if we sweep this, we're probably sweeping all the way down. So just waiting for that to happen. I can almost guarantee you it will happen at some point soon here, unless they just don't want to fill these positions, right? Like maybe they just don't want to let these people get in, and then they're gonna push price up and force all of these walls to FOMO in higher. That is a possibility. But structurally, I mean, it makes sense to sweep that. Do you reckon we can go 54 to 52? I know what you're talking about. Say, you know, just looking on TradingView here, that's previous level. 52 is at least. No. Unless it's bearish. Like, unless we have entered the bear market, like, I guess it still wouldn't be the bear market, but like, unless we're exiting the bull market, no, we should not go to 52. I don't know where like the bull market support band is, but we're way too far exaggerated for that. We're in the parabola. We should not be retesting the bull market support band right now, in my opinion. I mean, anything's possible, right? But if we go to 52, that altcoin market is going to make a new low, right? Total 3 is going to make a new low, which you cannot have during a bull run. It just should not happen. So no, I don't think we will see 52. I think what will probably happen is we will deviate this. I mean, we need to close back above here by the end of the week. So we have like what 3-4 days left on the week. So yeah, we need to close up here in 4 days for sure. I do not expect us to go to 52. If we do, that would not be a good sign. I do know there's support down there, so if we did, I mean, would we find support? Probably. But probably not a lot. Like, not a lot at all. Like, we should not go to 52. Just my thoughts, right? Anything's possible. But yeah, no, this should just be a deviation. We should just deviate, get back above, and then continue higher. Are they massive walls there? As one of my friends said, it might go to 50K. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, no, like, if you're just looking at the chart, you're going to say, oh, well, that's where the support is. It makes sense, right? Because you vectored. Okay, let's look at this. So this off of here too. I guess there was more support back there. But essentially, like, you would look at this and you would say, since we have accepted into these bars, this is a low volume area and we're probably going to nuke straight through it until we get to 52, which is true to a point. There is no support here, so it makes sense like that we go hunt 52k. But I don't think this is a, like, I don't think we're going to find support on support. I think this is just a deviation outside of support, right? I think our support's still here. Our range support is still there, and I think we're going to hold that support on a weekly close. I think this is just a deviation to scare the markets, right? During FOMC, scare the markets, wick under it on a weekly close, and you will see this turn into a wick, just like all of these wicks, and we'll go higher. But yeah, I mean, we are in this low volume area, so theoretically, yeah, we could easily hunt down to 52, which is where the bear case comes out, because you hunt 52, I don't think this is going to hold. And that could be like bull market over if that happens. So that's why, yeah, this is very important week, because we need to deviate this and get back above. You're talking about buy walls, tons of buy walls, right? It's going to be very hard for them to push price down to 52. You can see no one's buying at 52 because they know if we go to 52, it's over. But if we do get another big wick through here, yeah, they're trying to scoop up this deviation. So yeah, those are my thoughts. While yeah, we're in a low volume area, support is still above us, and I expect us to like actually reclaim that support with haste, like Bart Simpson type thing. Yeah, the fear index is still there. Yeah, I don't really know what to think about the fear and greed index. Like, it's how do they really calculate that? But just for fun, what is it at? At neutral? How? That's not true. I know it's not neutral. I've been on Twitter. So yeah, I mean, maybe for Bitcoin, if you just hold Bitcoin, maybe you're neutral, but the altcoin market has nuked. So yeah, we're in fear right now. I don't know if we're extreme fear, but we are definitely in fear. So this is wrong in my opinion. They put whatever they want in the fear and greed index. So maybe they're putting in neutral so that people think we're still going lower and they don't buy now. When in fact we're already in fear and it's going to go higher. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really look at the fear and greed index. Just because it's, I don't know. I can go to Twitter and know what the sentiment is, and it's not neutral right now. I mean, I guess technically it is kind of neutral. Like, crypto Twitter is always going to be bullish, and that sort of thing. But yeah, this should be a deviation. We should not go to 52. Can I come back to you with a couple of coins later on this month? Not many promise. Yeah. If you have any questions about like altcoins or anything, join the Discord. Links in the description for my Discord. It's free to join. It's not like, I don't got any paid groups or anything like that. Just come hop in there, ask me anything you want in the general. Not opinion on the graphs, just as normal coins. I got you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll go over their fundamentals and all that stuff. Yeah, you're in there. Cool. Yeah, just let me know. I'll check them out for you. Let you know what I think. If you are wondering how you can do that yourself, I do have a video on my channel talking about how to actually find, or like how to research coins, like what I use for it. So let me go back to here. Go to this. So this video is right here. Find 100x gems. Best strategy to find altcoin gems. This is where I go through how to just like CMC, like DEX tools, the chart analysis, ICO drops, website, that sort of thing. So I don't know. Watch this if you want some information on how I research coins. Of course, like the fundamental side of things doesn't like I can't really talk about that on this video because that's more of an individual coin. So yeah, definitely leave them in the Discord, and I will like look at their fundamentals and see if I kind of like what they're doing for sure. But yeah. Does not look like it wants to sweep right now. The dollar, look at that rejection on golden pocket. That's what I'm talking about. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Bitcoin could hold this trend. Definitely could. Yeah, point of control of the range. Found support on it. We'll see. Dollar's hunting new lows right now. I like to see it. Doesn't want to sweep before market close. Who else is watching? I'm not saying anything. That is true. How many people we got watching? Let's see this. I mean, there's only 3 people watching, so that's probably why. But yes, you are right. There's one person watching, not saying anything. Hopefully in the future we'll have more people watching and it could be more exciting, right? We did have a good amount of viewers though. I'm pretty stoked on, you know, we had like 10 people in here at points and that sort of thing. So for how small my channel is, it's cool to see you guys are sticking around for the most boring meeting known to man, known as Jerome Powell talking. Let's get back to the chat here. They all left after Jerome. I mean, that is true. Media is always manipulated, yes. That is very true. Action on Bitcoin first, then the media goes second. Yeah, it's kind of that thing where it's like, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. Yeah, the price action is like, media does not cause price to do something. The news just happens to coincide with whatever price action is doing. I don't know. A lot of times you get bad news, price go up. You get good news, price go down. Dollar is nuking right now. You can see over here. Clear rejection off golden pocket. Yeah, look at that 4 hour. That just looks terrible. Which is awesome for Bitcoin if you didn't know. Big hedge funds have PC of 25-30K, and a couple are trying to hold the Aladdin bottle. Yeah, hedge funds. I don't know. I think they're not as smart as people think. They're not like they're not genies. They don't know. Like they're really just like you and I. If you're like someone that is smart enough to look at TA and that sort of thing. Especially when it comes to Bitcoin, they don't know what price is gonna do. But they do have insights a lot of times. You know, especially when it comes to the stock market, there's like a lot of insider trading that goes on with politicians and that sort of thing. So yeah, hedge funds can be they can know stuff that retail doesn't. But what's nice, Bitcoin's kind of outside of their reach, and that's why they're putting in this ETF, so they have more regulatory control, which gives them more price control, and they're just trying to control everything because they own a portion of the entire world pretty much. When you look at someone like BlackRock, so they want their fingers in everything, of course. Russia, nuclear power, Taiwan, Gaza, and other. Yeah, World War III soon for sure. It's not a question of if, but more of like when. You have a rising power. If you look at like Ray Dalio's theory, you have the rising power, which is China, and you have a falling power, that is the United States. Every time you have a rising and falling power, majority of the time war does break out. As well as you look at like what is it, the fourth turning theory, that every like 80 to 100 years you have a like cataclysmic event, right? World wars, something like that. So look at how many years it's been since World War II, since the Great Depression. I kind of expect we have an epic economic collapse along with a world war soon, but before then, doesn't it make a lot of sense to have a massive blow off top, like peak euphoria right before everything falls apart? That's kind of been my thesis. Big events that people don't learn, we will never learn, of course. Yep, history always repeats. So yeah, it doesn't seem like they're ever gonna figure out world peace or any of that. We're definitely at a time where, like, I don't know, some bad stuff could happen, but I don't know if it's gonna happen as soon as people think it is. That being said, I mean, we have the election season coming up, and I think what happens with that election will be big. The United States election. I am from the States, yes. Yeah, we got our what would you call it? I guess I don't know. The establishment is trying to put Donald Trump in prison right now for our elections. Whereas, and they're not even like running anybody else besides Joe Biden, and like no one likes Joe Biden. Like, even if you are like a Democrat, nothing against being a Democrat, but like everybody knows that Joe Biden is not fit to be a president. And so what happens with this next election? Like, if they're able to keep Biden in, or if they, it looks a little sus, right? Already the last election was kind of like, it was a little sketchy. Maybe not voter fraud, but definitely changing the rules to make it easier to have Democrats voting with like mail-in ballots and that sort of thing. So I don't know. I think if they like put Trump in jail or something, and then because of that, the only person that can get elected is like Joe Biden, and then World War can definitely happen. Now, if Trump does get in office, I think maybe you don't get a world war. Not that I like Trump, actually. I don't know. I don't like Trump, but I don't hate him. He's pretty cool. He has some good economic policies, right? And he can definitely turn around our economy, make it a powerhouse. Whereas, I don't know. I don't want to get into politics here on the channel, but let's see here. What is the chat saying? I'm pretty much just talking to Kane here. No, you cannot put the golden boy in jail. Yeah, no. No politics around the channel. Yeah. Yeah, I do like getting into politics, but not actually the politics side of things. Like, I don't have a side. Like, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I just think it's really fascinating with like how where like the direction that the United States is going, like in terms of conflicts with the world, and like more the economy side of things, right? With like the U.S. dollar, how our Federal Reserve has been just minting dollars. Like, our currency is basically a Solana shitter, if you really think about it. They just they print supply, give it to whoever they want, and yeah, it's not great. But yes, you are right. No politics around the channel. Yeah, the U.S. debt. Let's pull that up over here on TradingView. Actually, I think I can just look up debt. Let's see. $34.5 trillion. Yeah, that's that looks great. Let's actually let's look at some of this stuff. Why not? It's getting towards the end of the stream. Let's get to some like more macro stuff real quick. So what can we look at? Reverse repos is a big thing, right? Whenever these go to zero, the market's done for. We still have 430 billion to come into markets. That is 30 times, but yeah. Bitcoin flipping the U.S. national debt or what? Let's see. Let's see here. What was I gonna look at? I can't tell what any of these are because they don't really explain it on the ticker. US there. That's our interest rates. Good gosh, where's this thing? I'm just looking for like national credit card debt. This thing like all the way at the bottom. Where's this? What? Why is this not on my watch list anymore? I'm so confused. $1.3 trillion in credit card debt. So we have about as much credit card debt as the market cap of Bitcoin in the United States. This is a big catalyst for a collapse, like a depression type event. Okay. In this moment, Bitcoin remains maybe the best investment for the next 20 to 30, only if we don't have what Bitcoin inflation rate is now 2% by. So Bitcoin, gold, silver. Yes. Definitely gold, definitely silver. Maybe Bitcoin, right? It's an unknown. No one knows. Is it actually going to be a reserve currency, or is it actually just all speculation and it's gonna crumble? It's an unknown, right? I do think we're nearing the .com bubble for crypto. After this bubble, I think gold's gonna be the way to go. Bitcoin historically is discorrelated from gold, so for gold and Bitcoin to run at the same time would be different than anything we've had before. I will say if the dollar collapses, well, inherently Bitcoin's going to go up in price because the dollar's going down against Bitcoin. So, yeah, I mean, it is a good currency, digital currency. It's secure. You can, trade with people. People accept it as a currency, right? It's traded all around the world. There are governments that use it. So yeah, it's just unknown. Like, will it actually take hold as like a reserve asset of the world, like central bank digital currency back to Bitcoin, or will it just fall apart after the world actually gets serious and everybody just runs out and buys gold because they're scared that we're going to get EMP'd or something, and then you won't even be able to use the internet, and our grid goes down, and then, it's an unknown, for sure. But yeah, it's always good to have some Bitcoin for sure. Like, I'm never gonna sell all my Bitcoin, even at the top. Gold is from 100. Yeah, gold has the most historic data out of any currency on the planet. It will never lose its value. Like, if you go to never sell, yeah, keep man. Yeah, for sure. The funny thing is I don't hold any Bitcoin right now. I'm all in on alts. But I will be rotating to Bitcoin when I think it's the top. Just to have some in case it does decorrelate from markets and start rallying with gold, which is possible. Regret not dying of the pandemic. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody does, but what are you gonna do, right? Yeah, I don't know. Black swan events are scary because you don't know if they're actually gonna play out or if it's going to rally from it. And most of the time, though, I will say when you get a black swan event, you buy it. But I don't know. Next time we get a black swan event, it might be like a like the start of World War III. So maybe you don't want to buy the start of World War III. If you get millionaire, do not quit channel. I will not. Yeah, no. I'm doing this because for sure. Yeah. Yeah. No chance I'm gonna quit doing this. Hopefully I can do YouTube for a very long time. Build this channel to something big, right? I've only been doing this a couple months here, and we're just getting started. Very early stages of Crypto Crane for sure. So yeah, but here locally, I mean, the dollar continues to dump, which is awesome, and Bitcoin is not wanting to sweep. It's rallying up, so yeah, we'll see here. I think what do we got? 10 minutes till the daily close. I'll probably, I don't know. I'll stick around to the daily close and then I'll hop off here. Gotta go. Probably gonna edit this live stream into something that will be fun to watch for YouTube. Bitcoin is doing what he wants now. Honestly, rather watch and talk with you than other. True that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like don't even watch other crypto YouTubers. Like I got a few, for sure that I do like check out. I think they got good market analysis and they do call a lot of good stuff. They got, you know, good altcoins to recommend or whatever. But man, I really don't watch a lot of like crypto YouTube because it's just like annoys me. People don't really know like what they're talking about. It's like, well, I don't know. Like I can already see everything they're talking about on the charts. So I don't know. I don't really have any benefit watching YouTubers, but I definitely keep in the space, right? I subscribe to all of them, so I get, you know, I see their thumbnails. I'm like, okay, that's what he's thinking, right? I can kind of just base it off the thumbnail, what these other YouTubers are thinking. But yeah, just so you guys know, like, when you're getting my analysis, you're not getting a rehashed version of some other YouTuber. No, this is all stuff that I have come up with just looking at the charts myself, right? What state, if you may ask? I'm in Phoenix right now. So I was in Colorado, now I'm in Phoenix. Probably gonna be moving back to like a mountain state at some point. I don't know. I'm looking to get into like real estate and that sort of thing. I like the mountains though. I do like snowboarding and do a lot of snowboarding. Right. I used to work at the ski resorts doing like park crew. Like they have like terrain parks at the ski resorts where you get like jumps and rails. It's like a skate park but on the ski resort. So I used to like work for them, like making the jumps. We basically just snowboard all day. That stuff's fun. So yeah, but I am in Phoenix right now, the complete opposite of a mountain. Yes, sir. They do have good resorts there. They even have a ski resort here in Arizona. It's out by Flagstaff, which isn't where I live, but yeah, I went out there like a couple weekends ago, and they have a small resort with snow still, like even in April. So that was pretty interesting. You wouldn't think of Arizona as being somewhere you can snowboard. Rich places in Colorado. Yes, Aspen, Colorado is, I'm pretty sure, the richest like county in the nation. One of the richest counties in the world. So yeah, for sure. Real estate, not sure others around you here in the UK. Yeah, you wanted to get around 300,000. Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit more here. It obviously depends the quality of a four bed, but yeah, I mean, we can actually look at that right now. We got a chart for that. We go over here to I think it's these right here. Nope, it's not those. Average sales prices of homes sold in the United States. This is $492,000. So, yeah, your average is probably going to be a four bed house. So, yeah, right around 400,000 or 500,000, 600,000 for a four bed is what you're looking at. Which is higher than it's really ever been. So, I do expect like a housing correction here in the near future when we do have the whole economic collapse thing. But just like gold, I think real estate will be a great asset to own going into the future. $500,000 OMG, yes, it's expensive in the United States for sure. Yeah, real estate, land, gold, silver, maybe Bitcoin, maybe not. Definitely Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, if you look at since Bitcoin came out, it has only appreciated in value against the dollar. I will say this one thing about Bitcoin though. When did it launch, right? When did they launch Bitcoin? After the 2008 financial crisis. Bitcoin has never gone through a true bear market. It has always correlated with stocks. Stocks have also been up only since 2010. So if we are going to have an economic collapse and Bitcoin is going to continue to correlate with stocks, watch out, right? Just be careful thinking that Bitcoin will just be like a safe haven asset, because it's not a safe haven asset. It's a risk on asset until proven otherwise. So yeah, we'll see. It's an unknown. Sailor and others have invested billions. Sailor also was like got destroyed during the dot-com bubble, I'm pretty sure. That was his company. One of his companies went like straight bankrupt. I might be getting that wrong, but I mean, you would think he has learned his lesson. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe he's gonna dump on us when we get to 100K Bitcoin. But yeah, no, I like Bitcoin. I think it's actually very likely that it does become like a like $10 trillion plus asset. But it's just such an unknown, right? Don't be risking more than you can afford to lose, thinking that it's going to decorrelate from markets and go on a bull run during an economic collapse. I don't think that's likely. The world has Bitcoin plus money. Oh yeah, no, for sure. If you just look at like, now that we have a Bitcoin ETF, if hedge funds were to diversify like just 5% into Bitcoin, like all the hedge funds were, I mean, yeah, you're getting the market cap of gold easily. So it just depends. Like, are hedge funds, are nation states going to recognize it as an asset, or are they going to ban it and just like regulate it to zero essentially? Yeah, we'll see. I think it's very possible that we do see a big rally in Bitcoin along with gold and things like that. I just have to like, I got to make a note that like Bitcoin, while it could still do like the $10 trillion plus market cap, and I still think it is going to go on an epic rally. If we have an economic collapse, it could be in a like bear market for a very long time before that happens. So I'm not saying it's going to die during an economic collapse, but could it go to like $10,000, $9,000 and stay there for 5 years while we have a world war, and then afterwards, then Bitcoin rallies? Yes. Could it become a safe haven asset and rally with gold during a world war? Yes. It's an unknown. Nothing goes up. Come to 10K, so then we can buy from there. True that. Yep. Nothing goes up forever though, and that's a good point. Like looking over here at Bitcoin, let's actually pull up the Bitstamp chart. Go to a monthly. So nothing goes up forever. You do have bearish divergence on monthly time frames, going all the way back to the launch of it. You know, something like that. This is just completely hypothetical. .com bubble for crypto, right? We revisit, you know, something like that. I don't know. Like, this is completely hypothetical. But yeah, I mean, like, we have never had like a true bear market with Bitcoin, so could it easily like come down to these levels, right? It definitely could at some point, right? Just be cautious of that. And could it be right now? Who knows? Nothing's a guarantee. Not trying to scare you. This is very hypothetical. I expect it to go up first. But yeah, that's just what I'm looking at for like a macro. I think Bitcoin is going to collapse if we with like a World War III or anything. It's a risk on asset. We got a bunch. You're typing a bunch of chat. Let's see what you got. What do you got here? Okay. Come to Kented. So more. Plus more. 2 more in here. What is up, guys? Most of all-time high came down around what 60%, 80% right on Bitcoin. I mean, yes, historically Bitcoin goes down about 60, 80% every cycle. So if we reach 100 next time, okay, will come down around. Then no, well, no, because every time Bitcoin has pulled back 60 to 80%, it's been during a macro uptrend in the stock market. I'm gonna S&P here. Let me turn off all these. Where did Bitcoin come out? I don't actually know when in 2011. Sometime around 2011. We'll just call it right there. Bitcoin has had 60 to 80% corrections during a macro bull market for the S&P. If we were to see a blow off top for the S&P, where we go into a Great Depression type scenario, if this were to play out, which I think is very possible, do you think Bitcoin is only going to have 68 to 80% corrections during this? Probably not. We could see like, I mean, let me do this. We'll take it from 100K. So like 90% is 10K. So I think 90% to even like 95%. I could see only if, and this is if that S&P scenario were to play out, you could get like a 95% correction on Bitcoin, $3,000. Just, yeah, it's possible. Just take this into account, right? Bitcoin has never experienced a real recession, yet alone a depression, which we haven't had in 100 years. 100 max this or next year, then the next bear market will come down around there. No, yeah, something like that. No more Bitcoin. We'll have more. We'll see. Yeah, and then like, so if you do take the so let me go back. So okay, I don't know. Okay, it just like glitched out there. It's not even redoing it. Anyway, if we do have a macro downtrend for the stock market, gold will decorrelate from this. So gold will pretty much again, this is very theoretical. Gold would probably come down. Gold would do something like that while the stock market traded down. If Bitcoin did decorrelate from markets, we could see like, whoops. Yeah, we could see potentially like a go to 100K, pull back to 30K, macro uptrend as a safe haven asset rallying with gold. It's possible, but there's no data to suggest that would happen. All the data suggests that Bitcoin is a risk-on asset and will follow the stock market. So just keep that in mind. All right, market's just closed. So let's see, where did the S&P finish off here? right at the lows, so not the best daily close you could get. Yeah, it doesn't look good. We'll see. Although the S&P doesn't look good, total 3 looks great. Bitcoin looks fine. We'll have to see how this plays out, but Bitcoin's holding nicely. Let's go ahead and run up S&P on. You can actually see this in the bottom right. That's still black bull markets, so they're open. Actually, no, they're not. They're not open right now. This is at the gap where they're not going to be open, but just be watching on futures and see if we do rally back up. We do have vectors to the upside. Even though it looks bad on a daily close, I don't expect that to play out. I expect, like I said, maybe sweep this, but think go for all-time highs. Same with Bitcoin. Maybe sweep, deviate, hold support on a weekly close. So we got 4 days for that weekly close. As long as Bitcoin can close above, let's just call it 59K by the end of the week, we're all good to go. If for some reason Bitcoin continues to fall, total 3 breaks that wick, S&P does a bearish back test and like accepts below that bear flag, that doesn't look good. I don't think there is a bullish case to be made that 52K will be like, I don't think there's a like 52K would be a bullish correction. I think if we go to 52K, if we can't hold support here and deviate back above, that's it. That was the bull market, and it's time to probably get out of the markets. That being said, I don't expect that to happen. So let's just wait and see. Remember what the Fed said. Probably not going to have 3 cuts this year, which signals November. So if CME Group comes out and signals that November will be the cut, that means the bull market's going to go on probably till November. So yeah, that gives us a lot of time for upside. And even if September is still that cut, I mean, we shouldn't top out till the summer. Like, I don't know. It could be a sell in May and go away type deal, which it is May. So we'll see. But I'm bullish. Anything else in the chat? Tomorrow, one more down. Today, yep. Yeah, I mean, we could go down tomorrow, and that's fine. We shouldn't go down more than like just a sweep, though. Like, if we do go down, this needs to hold on a daily close. Okay, so daily close needs to hold. Weekly close needs to hold. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be ending the stream off here. I think we've gone on for what? It's been 3 hours, something like that. Yeah, 3 hours been live streaming for, 3.5 hours, something like that. So thank you all so much for watching. Let's see, how many people did we finish off in this live stream? 4 people. What is up, guys? Thank you all for tuning in for the FOMC stream. Hopefully I can give you guys some good things to think about but coming, when looking at the price action coming throughout this next week or so. But yeah, essentially I hope you guys all have a great day. Let's be watching Bitcoin. Make sure we do close above these levels on a daily and weekly time frame. I do expect this to sweep one more time. Just remember, we do have tons of buy walls down here, like tons. If you add these up, these are each like 1,000 Bitcoin each. This one's at 1,500 Bitcoin. If you know how much a 1,000 Bitcoin is worth right now, it's a lot. Let me calculate that for you. It's like 70 million, 60 million, something like that. Let's so they got like 1,000, 1,500, another 1,000, 700. So, all of these combined, let's just call it 5,000. Let's just call it 60K. $300 million worth of buy walls just on Binance if we were to come down here. So we got big sport, literally. So I wouldn't worry too much. Even if we do like wick down, that's acceptable. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in to this live stream. And I will be seeing you all in my next video, which should be coming out in about 2 hours from now. So make sure you go ahead and check out the YouTube video. It probably will just be like a rehash of this live stream. I'll edit it up, make it nice and digestible for a YouTube video. So I will see you all, I don't know, either in that video or in the Discord. Make sure you join the Discord in the link in the description down below. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Peace.